their own in recent years, and once again these two combatants go head to head in probably one of the most important games for each other throughout the season. Joining me on the pre-match this afternoon is an established crew of experienced individuals who between them bring a wealth of knowledge to our competition. And first and foremost, to my right, I'll introduce the media manager, Ryan. Hello, Ryan Long. How are you?
Thank you, Brash. Well said. Your introduction was spot on. A fantastic round, NAIDOC round. I'm really looking forward to it. I believe we've got the smoking ceremony as well before the start of the game. Always very important. Was lucky enough to head off to Norwood on Thursday night.
Yep.
Listened in to Jamie Bennell. And then obviously we had Braden Kilpatrick at South Croydon as well speak. And that's up on our socials. And today, fantastic. We'll be able to hear from them. It'll be on our broadcast before the start of the game. So it'll be good to, if you're unaware on some of this stuff, definitely tune in, Jared, and have a listen. And it's a good learning experience for, I guess, all of us.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to that. G'day to all the listeners. G'day, Ryan, Brash, and Scott down the end there. I'm really looking forward to this game and the smoking ceremony and everything. It's a fantastic initiative to, bring a bit more awareness, dispel some of the prejudice, and, have a bit more of an understanding of the roots of this great game and the roots of this land as well.
A few communication issues for Brash. Yeah, not coming through there, but I presume you were going to introduce me, so I'll just introduce myself. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. So I'm glad to be back, and what a round to come back to footy with.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go, Brash.
There we go.
There you go. So I introduced myself.
Scotty.
Thank you. But brilliant to be here, and really looking forward to the contest. And as spoken about early on, we're going to obviously hear from Braden and Jamie, and it's really worth listening to. So tune in. Both of those individuals spoke really well.
Yes, those interviews will be coming up in amongst our pre-match this afternoon, and we'll be hearing from Braden Kilpatrick shortly at 1:25 on what it means to him and NAIDOC week. Well, gentlemen, we've got quite a bit of we've got big games and big rounds to go through in all divisions this afternoon, and it's going to be pretty fast paced. So I'm going to kick everything off with fourth division. All right, and fourth division, there is some interesting games this afternoon, but there's one game that's piqued my interest, and it's the Kilsyth versus Chirnside Park contest. Kilsyth have become a real tour de force in Division 4, Ryan. They won by 100 points last week. They're taking on Chirnside Park, who all of a sudden have found form and are threatening Forest Hills for that position. And Forest Hills be looking over their shoulder, especially now they're sitting with the bye.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually on percentage, I think Chirnside Park now sit in fourth spot. So it's theirs to lose in a way. It's a big clash. Hard to see anyone beating Kilsyth at the moment. I know Forest still got him a few weeks ago, but that was a massive surprise. And we were out there a couple of weeks ago out at Surrey Park Reserve, and despite probably not putting it as much on the scoreboard, only won by 4 or 5 goals, they were in control of that game for pretty much 3 and a bit quarters. And their body work, they were very hard at the football. Some experienced Division 1 footballs really stepping up. McNay's still not into the side. He came out after the Surrey Park win. But Jaden Waiko comes to the club this season, kicked another 6 last weekend. Was just very impactful around the contest. Hard side to beat at the moment, and for Chirnside Park, they play Forest Hill next week, so a lot of pressure on that game. But for them, it's more about building the form. I don't think you have to beat Kilsyth. It's hard to make that. That's a hard taskmaster to say you have to win for today to be a success, but need to find a bit of form leading into next week, because next week's game may decide their spot in the top 4, Brash.
Yeah, Jared, let's look at Kilsyth and the experience. They're a very bigger-bodied side. They've got a lot of experience running around that have come to the club this year. And it seems like to me it took a little while for them to start to gel, but we really are starting to see now what that combination is starting to do to the competition, and they're starting to create a bit of a gap there, aren't they?
They are, and it's not just the combination of those Division 1 players, it's how they're gelling with the rest of the team as well. The connection between Sam Curry and the ruck, being able to tap it down to Weikart and McNay, I mean, that was really impressive to see consistently. You know, that they pretty well beat Surrey Park in those clearances the day we were there at the Panther Pit. And the rest of the team as well. Goodinson, you know, he's finding a lot of, he was dangerous. He's been dangerous in years past, but, you know, the delivery has been much better to him going forward. Brandon Drossler down back, I think he's going to be very difficult to overcome for the Chirnside Park forwards. It's going to be really interesting to see sort of how Lee Odermatt will go and see how much he has settled into that Chirnside Park side. Of course, he's got a lot of experience across a number of teams, so it's not going to be particularly surprising if he hasn't taken that too long to gel into a Division 4 club. A dangerous prospect for Kilsyth to have to deal with, but I think their defence has been rock solid so far.
Scotty, about a month ago, Chirnside was sitting 3 games roughly behind Forest Hill. Now all of a sudden the roles have sort of reversed. Can Chirnside now maintain the rage and carry the rest of the form, especially now that they win today, but also take that form into the match against Forest Hill next week? Can they make a sustained run and secure that 4th position, say, before round 14 or 15?
Yeah, well, if they have that run, like if they get that win today, that's 5 from 5, and they're running red hot. And I spoke, pre-season well about them. I found, good belief in sort of what they were building down there, but it's just obviously taken some time to find the results that have come their way. And finally, they're finding them, so they've just got to continue with that momentum, continue pushing forward. And look, there's plenty of opportunity to find the 4 points in that division. It's just you've got to turn up on the day.
Yeah, look, I think I think Kilsyth at the moment are right. I know they're in good form, and the thing is, I don't care really. In all honesty, it doesn't matter when you strike form, but Kilsyth have been a very consistent side, and they've been able to hold their form. Gents, who do we think, and how much?
Kilsyth 6 or 7 goals. I just think at the moment they're streets above multiple sides, and although Chirnside Park's form in the recent 3 or 4 weeks has been really solid, I think there's still a big gap between those 3rd and 4th sides to Kilsyth at the moment. They're just flying.
What about you, Beena?
Well, it'll be interesting because, maybe Chirnside Park's greatest rival right now, Forest Hill, could be their greatest ally if they go back and look at the footage and see how they actually built Kilsyth. Maybe there's a bit of a blueprint there. However, red-hot form, Kilsyth. I kind of agree with the 6 to 7 goal margin that Ryan posited. I'd imagine it would sort of blow out to that towards the last quarter. I can see Chirnside Park sticking with them throughout the day, however.
What about you, Scotty?
Yeah, I think I'm going Kilsyth, but I just don't want Chirnside to... sometimes, I guess, from seasons gone by, once the score's against Chirnside, they just let it go, and it sort of blows out quite well, and they need to protect that percentage where they can. So I think Kilsyth, but I'm really pleased to see Chirnside getting the wins and making a statement over the last sort of month.
I think if they are going to establish their contenders, their credentials as a finals contender, I'm not looking for them to actually win today, but I want to see a more competitive performance, and I don't want to see them get beaten by 10, 15 goals. I want to see them getting beaten by 3 or 4 goals, and I'd be disappointed. I think Kilsyth will win this game, and I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to win convincingly. They are running on top of the ground in winter, right? And these are the hard months that you really got to get, this is where you build up your endurance in your legs. And I would love to. I can't wait to watch Kilsyth play, to see that change from obviously last year when we saw them. I don't know. I don't know the schedule of media manager, but we might only see them come into the finals. But I really can't wait to that first time, and I'll be making myself available to watch them, because I think they're in ripping form. They were so good last year. They were so quick, but they've obviously taken up a gear, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them.
Hard to see any way they don't play a grand final this year.
No,
I'd be very surprised.
No, I think I had them, and I've got them. I said at the start of the year that I felt that them and Surrey are playing off in the grand final. So far, my mind hasn't changed from that. Two other games just to quickly mention, gents, just some tips on these ones. Croydon North are at home to Surrey Park. Surrey disappointing last week.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
sorry.
no, yeah, it was. They were against Kilsyth. Limited bodies. There's a few guys out, and injuries have played a big factor. Not having Tom Smith there makes a massive difference. Kennedy went down in that game against Kilsyth, but a great response last week against Forest Hill and against Croydon North Hemlock. I don't see him having any troubles, and just got to keep winning to finish in the top 2 at the end of the season.
And they were right for the picking last week. Surrey Park, considering the personnel they had on the park, and after getting thumped the week before, if there was ever a chance Forest Hill had last week to knock them over, then they couldn't. They got smashed. So what do you think, Jared? Surrey to continue the winning ways?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. They really dug their heels in well last week. Not particularly a backs against the wall performance necessarily against Forest Hill, just because of the form line there and the fact that Surrey Park are generally going to be a better side than the Zebras, and they are, of course, going to be a better side here than the Kangaroos, and I have to go with the Panthers.
Well, yeah, mate.
I'll just go Surrey, and we'll keep it short.
Fair.
And our resident clairvoyant, the Oracle, once again has sent his selection through to EFNL House, and let's having a look at Division 4 at the moment. He's for 29 selections, he's got 18 wins, 11 losses, at an average of 62%. He's got actually Surrey Park 72. Defeating Croydon Hemlock 57, Scoresby 47, who we'll talk about now, to beat Nunawading by a point, 46. And the big turn up, he's got Chirnside Park 97, beating Kilsyth 92.
I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. I'd be very, very surprised. I couldn't have Chirnside based on, but Scoresby, they got beaten up. They got worked over last week. Can they recover enough to get the chocolates against Nunawading?
Oh, well, they can, and they will, and they should against Nunawading. You remember the last time these two sides played, that first half, Nunawading were in that game. It was quite close, and then they blew them away in the second half. But just need a bit of a response. There's 5 or 6 changes to the side. I had a look on Friday. You looked at their performance last week. 11 goals they gave away in the last quarter, so it looked like they may have just thrown in the towel. They were never going to win that game at three-quarter time, but to give up that sort of that amount of goals on your home deck, it doesn't matter if the game's over. That's just not probably good enough for a side if they're going to play finals and look to potentially play a grand final and even possibly a premiership. But it looks like they're still a bit of the way off in saying that they'll have no problems today. Yep. I don't see him
losing. A bit of rebound, Jared, for you?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. They would have felt hard done by not dodging relegation last year. They would see themselves as a Division 3 team, and they really need to stamp their authority on this game against Nunawading.
Scotty?
Yeah, Scoresby.
Yeah, I think Scoresby have got to win by at least 10 goals this week. They're too good a side. Nunawading under Frank has done Salonitri's done a fantastic job resurrecting that club, and I hope that he stays on, because I can see Nunawading going upwards, and I think that's a really good sign. Well, we're going to have one of our first feature interviews on NAIDOC week, and South Croydon's Braden Kilpatrick, a star player, premiership player. He sat down this week with Ryan Long and gave us his thoughts on what NAIDOC week means to him.
people have always used as an outlet to express themselves. It's countless how many Indigenous football players there are, sportsmen, your Kathy Freemans of the world, things like that. And it's just been a way that Indigenous people have probably tried to put themselves on the map a little bit in this country. And I think it's, in footy especially, there's heaps of them. So it's just good to, have role models in the community, I think, as well, is a big thing. Like, for Indigenous people to see other Indigenous people succeeding and doing really well is important. I think it's just that constant messaging, right? The ability for us to educate consistently to change behaviours that have been ingrained in probably Australian culture for a long period of time. No one wants to see stuff like, what happened to Adam Goods, pushed like a absolute champion of the game out of the game from things like that. And I think, steps have been made forward from those moments, but there's still the odd slip up. I think the positive now is that events like NAIDOC Week, the awareness is getting to the point where people no longer will sort of walk past that behaviour anymore. People are sort of really put back and will hold others accountable to it, which is why you're seeing less of it in society at the moment, which is really positive. The thing that you love about sport and you love about team sport, I guess, and footy especially, is when you go to play, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are or what you're about, sort of thing, you've got something in common with the 22 guys or girls that you run out there with. And I think it's just, it's a really good way of bonding with people over a common like or common goal, I guess, that you want to achieve that win at the end of the day.
Netball League, we've seen other clubs do smoking ceremonies and of course.
Every year now you see more and more teams jumping on board and celebrating the culture, getting a jersey to represent, and try and make something of the occasion. So more questions every year, which is probably the purpose of events like this and rounds like this, is to have more questions. And I don't have the answers to all of them, right? But just the fact that questions are being asked is really, really positive. I'd like to think that I'm growing all the time. I think a lot of people think that way, and both as a person, but then culturally too. So I think, a couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this sort of stuff. So I think for sure, definitely some growth. It's usually final type atmosphere. We usually have a smoking ceremony and welcome to country and things like that before the game as well. So it's sort of, as you're out on the field and you get a little bit, you start to get those nerves and, you start to get excited for the game. And, any time that you have something like that on before a game grows that. And then, the crowd's engaged. The design of the jersey was done by an Indigenous artist called Kirby Bentley. So she did an amazing job of designing it with the girls. Now I saw it, I guess. Like, I saw a couple of the ideas and a couple of the meanings, and we sort of collectively chose it. But she was behind the design mainly. So the jersey represents people coming together from all walks of life, protecting each other and chasing success, which is what we're about at South Croydon, and we think the jersey, represents that really well.
Top of the goal square for Norwood, Bennell crumbs, Bennell goals!
Look, I hope he plays really well, but I hope we still win. Both clubs are in a pretty similar position. We always have good games against Norwood. They're a competitive club. Good luck to them. I hope, especially JB and Tristan, I hope they play really well. I hope their families enjoy the day, but hopefully we win.
into, I guess, avoiding the relegation sort of section.
All right, so you've got Coldstream. Ryan, what's your final thought on this game and who wins?
I'm tipping Fair Park, but I think this is going to be close either way. And Coldstream obviously got him earlier in the season, but it is very interesting that it's so important for the two clubs in two different ways that Fair Park need to keep winning if they are to manage to take a top 4 spot over either Oakley or Sylvan. And then for Coldstream, they're in a bit of a deadlock, as you said, with Whitehorse and Warrandyte. So for their sake, at home, this is a winnable game and one that they can get something going and avoid sitting in last position at the end of the season. But I just think with the Lions' form over the last month, a little bit more solid. They've been able to string some wins together, which, as you said, Brash, earlier had been a struggle. So just on the way they're playing at the moment, I'm going Fair Park.
And sorry to butt in, but I was just looking at the ladder. So if Coldstream get those 4 points, they go to 16.
Yep.
Fair Park are currently on 20 points. So they then are sort of chomping at Fair Park to get back into that sort of 5th position, and then really it's up to anywhere. So the game is huge. I would hope that every person from Coldstream in that town gets down to that ground and cheers on for hopefully a win for the home side.
Jared, what are your thoughts?
I've got Fair Park in this one just simply on form and Coldstream's form as well, particularly at their home ground, as I mentioned. And I think it's interesting because Fair Park were the ones last year to able to perform that Great Escape, and now they have the chance to put a stop to Coldstream's potential Great Escape, which is I think a really interesting storyline there that Fair Park has gone through in the past couple of years.
So you're going for?
I'm going for Fair Park.
Yeah, so am I. I think Fair Park, they don't put 2 or 3 together, but when they do and hit form, they're a difficult side to beat. It's going to be, for me, this is their biggest challenge so far this season, going up to Coldstream. But I think they are up to the task because there's a big carrot dangling right in front of them, and they can smell it, but they can't touch it just yet.
No.
But if they win today, it's within grasp, right? So I'm thinking that Fair Park will try and make all posts winners and probably try and get off to a really good start and probably try and dictate the play for the rest of the afternoon. The Oracle has got his Division 3 or her Division 3 selections so far this season, 40 matches for 22 wins and 18 losses at a strike rate of 55, which shows how hard this division is to try and pick winners on a week-to-week basis. It's got Fair Park 60, defeating Coldstream 43. Donvale, who are in a class of their own at the moment, 120 to beat Sylvan 75. Oakley District 90 to beat Pioneers 37. And Ferntree Gully 69 to beat Warrandyte 54. Any surprises in that?
No, only that it goes against my tip of Coldstream, but I'll stick with it.
Do you, what about you two gentlemen? Any things that stick out there?
Well, I think Donvale Sylvan is probably a pretty accurate reflection of where both of those teams are at and just how high scoring Donvale is. It's a little bit harsh on Whitehorse to say they're only going to kick 37 points today.
But they've really struggled in recent rounds to post score. And I think and that's the thing. One interesting other stat that I looked into Donvale's performances so far this season, out of all the 8 grounds that they play at, they hold the highest score at least 6 of them. So that just shows you the dominance that not only Donvale dominant at home and able to kick high scores at home, but they're kicking big scores away from home as well. So, look, it's at the moment it's all about Donvale and the rest are at the moment they're looking up the ladder and they've got a mountain to climb. Well, look, once again, we're going to take to our second interview this week, and we're going to take a Norwood perspective on this. And our EFNL man Dylan went out to go and chat to Jamie Bennell of the Norwood Football Club for his thoughts on what happens and on his thoughts on NAIDOC week.
My name's Jamie Bennell, I play for the Norwood Football Club. I'm a proud Noongar Yamaji man from Western Australia, so Noongar is the southwest of Western Australia and Yamaji is the midwest and northwest of Western Australia. NAIDOC Week's about all of us coming together as one, learning, and also just celebrating our rich history. It's an awesome week for me as an Indigenous person. It's just a week of recognition and celebration of our special culture, and it's bringing others along, non-Indigenous people along the journey with us as well, and to celebrate along with us. I feel Reconciliation Week is a time where non-Indigenous people need to come together and reconcile with Australia and Indigenous people. And then we come to NAIDOC Week, it's more that celebration type setup. Learn about our history, our culture, and walk the walk, I guess, with Indigenous people and learn our history and culture. So it's a massive week for Indigenous people. It's a very enjoyable week. There's always things on in the community, and for me personally it's always nice to get out to different organisations and show my face and be immersed in the culture and community over here. Yeah, footy's massive. It's a game we all love. We play the game to make mates. It's very enjoyable, but at the same time there's a good opportunity for things like to celebrate NAIDOC round, to celebrate different rounds through football. It's massive. Like, we all come together as one, so why not share different stories and I guess journeys along the way with that, no matter what it is, Indigenous, non-Indigenous. We're here as one football team, so I guess the more we know about each other, it's going to bring us tighter as a football club. From an educational point of view, they're always keen to learn more from me. I've done cultural awareness sessions here with the boys as well, so they're a very eager group and always wanting to learn more, and it's just, I guess, someone to provide that opportunity for them to learn, because I guess if it's being in a football club, you're very lucky and fortunate. You get, I guess, overexposed to our culture by playing alongside Indigenous players, where in the real world, like day-to-day life, work, you're not really exposed as much to that. And for me, I take that responsibility on. I look to share my culture and be proud of who I am and the culture I come from. Yeah, it's been big. So we got the first ever jumper up and going a few years ago now. And then from there, we played that game against South Croydon, and they wanted to jump on board with us. So we've made our game NAIDOC round game. And even last year, seeing, I think it might have been 5 or 6 more other teams produce their own jumper and get that up and going. So hopefully again this year, this weekend, we see a few more out on the park. So for me, it's a proud moment for me, because being able to do the first one for this league and now sit back and see 7 others, hopefully more. Yeah, it's something I look back and I'm pretty proud of. Yeah, so a new one, which I'm excited to show the boys tonight. It just came about, we've had our previous one for a few years now, and we're due for a little freshen up, so this was the right year to do it. It's come along together. It's probably my favourite one. We've only done 2, but this is my favourite by far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to running out this weekend. And the meaning behind the whole story is together. So we're together as one football club. It's one big family. It recognises our supporters, our volunteers, all of our members and stuff like that. But yet the football club in general. And then on the front, we've got represents our 4 players, our 4 Indigenous players that represent this football club. So we're at the forefront of this club. The logo in the middle, it's got some gum leaves that represent our connection to country and culture. But yeah, the whole jumper is just a recognition of First Nations people and our culture and contribution to the game. My cousin, she does boots for me. I got into her a few years ago and asked her to do a pair, and then from there it's grown ever since. She's done an awesome job. So it's got my 3 boys are on the footy boot this year, so Jed, Bo and Louis, so it's representing who I play football for, is those 3 boys, and I guess my journey as well from Western Australia to Victoria. As I get older now, I feel I'm more, I guess, educated myself. As a young kid growing up, I kind of just went through the motions, knew who I was and where I was from, but being older now, I've learned so much throughout my journey, through football, through work, to now presenting cultural awareness sessions. I do hold that responsibility close to me, and it's something I'm very proud of. I guess the development I've had over the years to be able to stand up in front of a group now and actually tell them who I am, where I'm from, but not only that, but all of our Aboriginal history and culture. So yeah, it's something I really enjoy.
able to get those insights from both those players, and they both speak really, really well.
Yeah, it is, and the fact is that Australia will this year get a chance to have their say on the Aboriginal affairs in an important vote for the community at large when the Voice referendum is put to the Australian population later in the year, and obviously for all concerned, everyone will be hoping for a yes vote. Ryan?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And as you see at the moment, the girls are wearing the Indigenous jumper as well from South Croydon, so looking fantastic. And they're currently beating Donvale at the moment, 6-4-40, one straight 6 with a quarter left to play. A fantastic round ahead. And where were we just before we heard from Jamie?
Well, we're now ready to start on Division 2 now. And the game that, for me, that has attracted the most attention this week is the game between Boronia and East Burwood, and it really is significant for the two sides that aren't playing this weekend, who played earlier in the year in Waverley Blues and Mulgrave, because as the way the season has progressed so far, especially for Waverley Blues, they've lost their last 2 or 3 games now, and now with Boronia up against East Burwood, especially. It now gives Boronia, if they win today, an extra chance. They could skip nearly 3-4 games clear of Waverley Blues and 6 games clear of Mulgrave. But on the other hand, with East Burwood, they're in really good form, and probably this has come at the right time for East Burwood. They need to exactly know at this moment in time where they are in the pecking order of the season, and there's none better chance to test yourself against the top side, and they get that opportunity this afternoon. Jared, how do you see this game panning out?
It's a really interesting one because East Burwood are in some scintillating form right now. They've won, I believe, 5 games in a row. They're coming into this one hot. They're starting to get their personnel back, or they have over the past month, and really, really settling into some good form. Definitely stamping their claim as finals contenders. They come up against Boronia, of course, here, who are the benchmark of Division 2, looking a lot more like a Division 1 side almost. So it's going to be fascinating. I'd say there's a little bit of a mental edge there for East Burwood because they always take Boronia to task. There's always close games against them in the past couple of years. But I think Boronia will be able to dispel that, Scott.
Yeah, I just was wanting to make the point that obviously you're talking about the points that Boronia could get, but East Burwood as well on the other side, because Waverley and Mulgrave are both going to be watching, because if East Burwood gets the win, it equals them on 32 with Waverley Blues, and then if they get the win also from East Burwood's perspective, they'll get a bigger gap from Mulgrave as well. So for East Burwood, it's a really important game today, and if they can get those 4 points, and we say you've got to find those 4 points, against games that may not be sort of penciled your way, if you can steal them, then magnificent, and they're coming in at the right time to come up against Boronia, and I think it'll be an absolutely ripping contest.
Ryan, the significant difference so far in this competition is Boronia's midfield. They bat exceptionally deep, and when we've spoken to Matt Clark, that was the impetus and the thing that he's been striving for all year. I mean, it's all right to have your 6 to 8 guys running through a midfield rotation, but he's got up to a dozen blokes to run through, and that makes it really impossible for an opposition coach to try and coach against.
Absolutely, and it comes back to the depth of the club, and obviously their reserve side is really, really strong, and I don't know if they've lost a game. I think they're undefeated in the reserves and probably on their way to a premiership, so they've got that depth. Dylan Dower's one who's come up from the twos in recent weeks and has been able to held his spot in the side. You look at Max Brasher, who's come to the club. He's had a fantastic start to the season. Mitch Mellis is in some brilliant form in the moment. The last month, he's been listed best on just about every game. So when you get some guys like that, we haven't even touched on Josh Begley, who I believe plays a bit more forward as well. And they've just got so many options. And then up forward, Ben Robertson is reliable to kick 4 or 5. Damon Fairchild's had a really good last 2 or 3 weeks. So they're flying at the moment, and it's going to be tough to see them not playing in a grand final this year, similar to some of the sides we've already spoken about. We had that conversation with Kilsyth, similar with Donvale and Ferntree Gully in Division 3 as well. So they'll be hard to beat, but East Burwood 5 in a row now. They've been able to hit some form, and I don't think it's any coincidence that they've been able to hit some form while they've been able to keep their best players on the park. That first 5 to 6 weeks, they had injuries, Scotty. They had people coming in and out each week. Weddings, Mariani's wedding, missed
Overseas
the game there.
travel.
Overseas travel. So they haven't had the luxury of having everyone with them each week, and it's made a difference now. And they're a game behind Waverley Blues. So at first we thought they may not even make the 5. They could even finish 4th at the end of the season if they do have a fantastic run home, Brash.
Yeah, Jared, the other player coming back into the lineup who will make Robinson accountable will be Eddie Rixton down in that back line. A very much maligned back player, but an important cog in the East Burwood scheme.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I've seen Ed Rixton play on a couple of occasions. He's done really well to lock up some of the main attackers that, whichever opposition that they've come against. The issue for me, however, is the flexibility that Baronia have. They can throw Begley forward. They can throw Kieran Edwards forward. They can throw even, we spoke to Matty Clark earlier in the year, and he mentioned how Jared Lake can play forward as well. There's such a flexible team. Every single player there can play 2 or 3 roles, and throwing the magnets around for Baronia is more of a modus operandi rather than a desperation move. When they're trying to win a game, essentially.
Final thoughts, Scotty. Where do you see this game? It's down at Tormore. That's obviously, and no sides been able to crack it down there this year. I don't believe.
Except Ringwood, I think.
Except Ringwood by a point.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think I'm definitely going with Baronia, and I think East Burwood would be kicking themselves from the early start of the year. Some of those results that could have gone their way. They only lost to Baronia last time they met in round, I think it was round 4, I think. Yeah, round 4 by 7 points. So definitely, playing better footy than they did back then. But yeah, Baronia at home I'm going with.
What do you reckon, margin-wise?
7 points.
Yeah, fair enough. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, I actually on the podcast gave East Burwood my Super Boost Roughie of the week. I think they're a chance.
Yep.
But in saying that, Baronia by 2 goals.
I think if Baronia are vulnerable, it is this week. As East Burwood come into this game as one of next to Baronia as the side running hot.
Yep.
What margin? Who do you think, Jared?
I've got Baronia in this one as well. I'll have it at about 10 points to split the difference between those
I think about 4 goals for mine, Baronia.
Yeah.
What's the Oracle?
Well, we've got 3 other quick games. We've got Heathmont taking on Knox. Anyone make the case for Knox?
Nope.
No, to be honest.
What about you, Scotty? No. Well, I certainly can't make a case for the next game because I think Ringwood will beat Upper Ferntree Gully.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think the other game, slow starters, Templestowe, who were very lukewarm last week. They warmed to their task and end up running away. They take on the Basin, who don't win out of term, but unfortunately they're a little bit below the best this year.
Yeah, there's still a bit of a gap there, and Templestowe need to keep winning if they want to finish in the top 3, potentially. A top spot may be up for grabs at the end of the season if they can pinch a couple upsets. So they just can't afford to lose these ones, and they won't.
I also think that with Baronia winning today, really the only spot left for Waverley Blues, if they want the double chance, is second. Because they're going to need to win a stack of games in the Homewood run to overtake a couple up front.
I am very happy that we're all going to be at level pegging it. Everyone's going to be at 13 games at the end of this round.
Yeah,
so
thankfully.
That's been frustrating going
I find
back
that yeah, I do. I find that.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of inflated our opinion of Waverley Blues a little bit. Just seeing that extra game that they won against Mulgrave on the ladder, whereas the only team that they've beaten in one of their fellow top 4 teams is Templestowe, and that was all the way back in round 1.
Right, now our friend the Oracle has got Heathmont 62. Knocks the Boyle over there 78. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that one. Ringwood 50. Ringwood 50 beating Upper Gully 33. I could see that happening. Ringwood are not a high-scoring side, but Upper Ferntree Gully really struggle to kick for past 40 points. I could see something like that happening. Templestowe 64 to beat the Basin 41. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair score. Hey, I drove past Templestowe during the week, and that ground's in not bad nick, so they might get a score there. But Baronia, the clear selection here from the Oracle, 93 to 68. You know, that's 27 points or 26 points. So, yeah, you know, that could be a margin. But then again, you know, East Bell are more than capable of dragging that down and only getting beaten by 10, 12 points.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
So I think by and large, that's Division 2 done and dusted. We'll keep moving on because we've got lots of other things to talk about. We're going to move into Division 1 now. And the game I've set down for discussion is the Mitcham North Ringwood game, because all of a sudden North Ringwood have put themselves into finals calculation with a big win last week, and an unexpected win. And for the first time in 2 years, Ryan, they've kicked over 100 points.
Yeah, and the first time you can actually consider them as a finals threat, even though a couple of weeks ago they were still in the mix. But the fact that they actually hit the 100-point margin and beat a side quite comfortably, because all their wins were very similar. They were won by 10, 15 points, maybe less, and they were barely getting over 10 or 11 goals. So the fact that they've proven that they can score big, and also, was that away from? That was at Quambies.
I was going to ask, yeah.
So they play that ground really, really well, and it's a tough ask when they go to Mitcham, who are certainly going to be looking for a win to get back on the winners list, but they've got enough talent. Paddy Rose comes back in the side. You know he can kick a few goals, so I'm not going to tip him, but I think if they can pull off one or two upsets on the run home, that fifth spot is up for grabs.
Most definitely, Ryan. I do give North Ringwood a fleeting chance, but I think Neil Winterland and his side really revved up. Right, they'll want retribution from last week.
It's a bit of an unfortunate time for North Ringwood to come up against Mitcham right now, because I think what we've seen again from Mitcham in the two times we saw them against South Belgrave and then Montrose, the midfield especially started very slowly, and they can't afford to do that here against North Ringwood, because that exuberance is going to start to come through, and it could cause the boil over if Mitcham are slow starters today, but I just don't see it happening. I really think they'll be raring to go from the word go.
Yeah, I don't see it sort of happening. I think Mitcham at home too strong. Credit to North Ringwood and how they're playing, and obviously if they can get that win, brilliant. They take on North Ringwood, take on Croydon next week, so they're sort of obviously banking hopefully some points over the next 2 weeks. If they can pinch this one, that would be huge for them and huge for their finals push.
Yeah.
Well, they got this particular game. South Belgrave 93 to beat Beaconsfield 58. One Turner South 49 to beat Croydon 36. Bayswater 97 to beat Mooroolbark 62. That's probably based on Bayswater's performances in recent times against two of the lower level sides, so their score has probably gone up a lot. Montrose 63, comfortably over Lilydale 31, and he's tipped the upset here, North Ringwood 84 against Mitcham 76. You'd be a brave man to pick against Mitcham, but statistically speaking, the Oracle thinks that North Ringwood's a fleeting chance this week.
Well, it'd be certainly interesting, but a lot of, the Division 1 games this week, that's very important for North Ringwood's sake, but the Bayswater versus Mooroolbark game, Scotty, bit of a mini elimination final. You wouldn't completely rule out the side that loses, but looking at the way the ladder is progressing at the moment, win this year, you stay in the hunt. Lose, you're probably not looking at a final spot this year. No,
you're not, and this is the crucial time of the year where you got to get the points to go. If they haven't come your way at the start of the season, then you've got to turn it around at some stage. We've got a bit of technical stuff going on around us. For those watching on YouTube, probably hear some chords being moved around as well on Radio Eastern. But no, it's an exciting time, and I'm really looking forward to watching some of these results over the day, and we'll have those updates throughout today's game.
Yeah.
And just quickly in the Premier Division Women's game here, we've got South Croydon 6-4-40. 8 minutes into the last quarter, leading Donvale 1-8. Gentlemen, we now move into what I feel is probably the one of the best rounds set down for decision in Premier Division this weekend. There's 5
How good.
5 really good games where the results could go either way. And look, whilst we'll be talking about South Croydon and Norwood throughout the afternoon, the game that really, for mine, piques my attention, and it has from last weekend, it's the game that our man Ray Baird will be at this afternoon down at Edward and Flack Oval between Berwick and Park Orchards. This is the quintessential 8-point game. In fact, this game could actually be worth 12 points the way the season's panning out. Both sides coming off a win last week and confidence-boosting wins. Park Orchards all of a sudden, starting with you, Ryan, just hit a vein of form, and we did speak about this about 2 or 3 weeks ago, that Park Orchards were going to get their opportunity, right, to win some games. They've done exactly what you've wanted them to do today. This is the litmus test for them. Can they go down there and take that scalp and get another win?
Yeah, definitely right. And we always said sitting 0-9, they were better than an 0-9 side. They've been very competitive against some really good sides. For whatever reason, just couldn't get across the line and missed some opportunities there. And finally, they played some games against sides around them on the ladder. Knocked off Doncaster last week, had a win before against Norwood, and then they played Berwick, who, unfortunately for Park Orchard's sake, got a win yesterday on Saturday. So they would have come off the ground, excited that they're out of the bottom 2, to find out that Berwick had pumped Norwood in the end. So I think they play each other twice, having a think.
Yep.
So they play each other in the final
round.
round. So these 2 games are just massive. You've got to win this first one, I think, for both sides, Scotty, and whoever does gets themselves out of the bottom 2, and then they can start to maybe pinch a couple upsets, so that at the back end of the season, when they do play again, they're not relying on having to win that game to not get relegated.
It's these 2 weeks for Park Orchards especially, and even for this game for South Croydon and Norwood, because Park Orchards, again, if you're looking at the ladder, South Croydon are on 12 points, Park Orchards are on 8. Park Orchards play South Croydon next week.
Yeah.
So it's massive in the way of sort of results, of the way of sort of getting out of that bottom sort of relegation zone. And I'm really interested in these sort of games. I know obviously we'll talk about some other games in the higher end, but there's always a bit of interest around relegation and those teams, like, who, do they deserve to be down there? What's gone wrong, what's gone right, etc., etc. So, look, I'm picking sort of Berwick at home, but I think Park Orchards are within striking distance. They're playing enough good footy, but they need to really find either the win this week or next week, if not both.
Yeah, I tipped Berwick on the podcast yesterday, so I won't change my mind, but I think this is going to be really close either way. Berwick at home.
What do you think,
home field advantage.
I have to agree with Ryan there. I went for Berwick on the podcast as well, and I think it's just based on their pressure game and the fact that I'm not sure if Park Orchards will have the legs to continue their running style of play across the large expanses of Edwin Flack Reserve.
I'm going to go the contrary view. I think when a side hits a bit of form, there's a lot of confidence, and I'm not really worried about Park Orchards going down to Edwin Flack. In fact, I reckon it might actually suit them a little bit, because I think they're a bit of a run and gun side, and I think they like the wide expanses of grounds where they don't feel like they're being hemmed in. And I sit back and I think the X factor in this game, there's 2. You got Michael Prozenak for Park Orchards, but you got Harry Money. Now, I said weeks ago when Harry Money came back into the side, there's going to be a game where he's going to take the opposition apart. It could be today, but I think he'll need to play a real prominent part, right? And in this game for Berwick to get over the line. And then I sit back and I look at both these sides individually, and I'm asking myself, if either side won today, which of these two sides are going to be better credentialed to try and pick off future wins for the rest of the season to get them out of the relegation mix. And I think the Park Orchards are better credentialed, mainly because of their experience in this competition and the fact that they've got a bit more of a hard-nosed edge, and they have got better record overall against some of the other sides in previous occurrences. So, look, this is a really important game for both sides, and I'm going to tip Park Orchards, but I think it'll only be by about 3 goals.
Yep, no, I think that's fair. I think it's going to be one
sense.
to certainly look out for this afternoon.
Right, another game that is set down for discussion afternoon down at Cherry Road. Balwyn taking on East Ringwood. East Ringwood just keeping on, and this week they go down to Balwyn to take on a Balwyn side who up until last week were really struggling to kick goals. Found some form last week and now find themselves in another match of the day status. But somewhere along the line, I sort of feel that East Ringwood's form still is more consistent than Balwyn's, and I think they've got the side to be able to hold Balwyn like a Noble Park, Ryan.
Yeah, I think so, and they've been a bit of a surprise. I think we all knew that they were going to play some good footy in this division, but to be sitting on top of the ladder, a game clear, it's just crazy to think, and I said it yesterday, I mean, sides don't usually tend to come into Premier Division and play finals, let alone have a shot at finishing top 2, and they just seem to find the answers against all those sides that they play against, whether that be even last week against South Croydon, who played some really good footy in Dano King's 300th, a real mature win to be able to hold on in really tough conditions, or not weather conditions, but just a tough game with South Croydon really, really needing a win and wanting one for a champion of their club. So that really impressed me from an East Ringwood perspective, and I said it a few weeks ago before Balwyn sort of dropped out of form that I thought at full strength they're my premiership favourite. I've sort of jumped off the bandwagon a little bit with that, Scotty. But so no, I'll stick with him. Balwyn to win today.
But then is Charlie Haley's out.
Charlie Haley out, so that doesn't help.
And that's the only sort of thing that I sort of go, well, that's probably in Ringwood's favour. But I think Balwyn at home, we've sort of seen how they play their footy there. They do it well in what's a little bit of a different sort of ground.
Smaller
I guess.
ground.
Yeah.
It's not the certainly a bit of a different one. But a lot of Premier Division grounds are smaller size, aren't they, Brash? If you look at the overall.
Jared, quickly, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about Noble Park and that Balwyn game earlier, rings true for me. I think East Ringwood would have a very similar style of play, and I think that they will be able to find Balwyn out on their home track.
I like East Ringwood. I love they've got a tough, uncompromising game plan. And they've also got some players that can add some added flair to it. I think they'll get the points as Arvo.
And I think you guys spoke on the podcast. Like, does that, if East Ringwood then gets this win, does that then say to everyone that they're the final sort of contender, or what do they have to do to prove otherwise?
They're probably wondering what else do we have to do? We've done everything else. They knocked off the Doncaster East Lions, who I think are going to be a contender this year. Yep. Beat Balwyn. They've beaten Noble Park, I think, or they haven't played Noble Park. But I think you've got to put a bit more respect to their name if they do get up today and consider them as not just a finals team, but a real premiership contender at the end of the year.
Danger game for the Bulls down at the Bullring this afternoon. They take on Blackburn, who have been flirting with their form in recent times. Anyone make the case? I think Noble Park are going well enough to win this afternoon. I think they've got a bit more class than Blackburn. Blackburn all of a sudden have just sort of slid off the mark a little bit, Jared.
Yeah, this is one of those games where it's just so... I go back and forth on quite a bit. So much so that I forgot who I tipped yesterday on the podcast. So you might be hearing something different from me today, which I think maybe just speaks to the intrigue of this game and how close these two teams are and how close the entirety of Premier Division is as well. Yeah, it would make sense, especially at home, and especially given they'll be wanting to. I mean, they're the reigning premiers for a reason.
Their home record hasn't been flashy.
It's not been fantastic, but I think such an experienced, such a classy, such a well-coached side will be able to overcome any sort of those sort of obstacles and just figure out how to fix and find those solutions to the issues that they've been having. I was surprised to see how soundly beaten in the midfield they got by Doncaster East last week. It was an absolute shellacking in there, and they're not going to want to repeat that performance. And they have the experienced players in there, Casey Sketcher, Horton Milne. They're not going to drop their heads. They're going to pick themselves up for this week, and I think Blackburn should be aware of that.
I think the Bulls for mine. Bet you, Scotty?
Yeah, Noble coming back after that loss last week. They'll really want to find form and get those 4 points against their matched opposition.
Right.
Yeah, Noble Park for me.
All right, next game. I think this game picks itself. I think Roval, they'll rebound after a disappointing loss against Vermont last Sunday. They take on Doncaster down at Roval this afternoon, and I think the margin may be significant in this game. Anything from any of you guys?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I think you're right.
No.
And the last game, and I think this is a real humdinger of a game too. Vermont are at home to Doncaster East. Vermont with a big win last Sunday, and in some quarters an unexpected win against Roval last week, Ryan. And Doncaster East will now head to Vermont Recreation Reserve, knowing that they're going to be in for a big contest this afternoon.
Oh, this is another huge game, and that's why when we went through the games yesterday in the podcast, there's not a bad game in the bunch. There really is, and the way Vermont played in that second quarter, they just took the game on. They just killed Roval in the centre clearances. Kelkowski kicked 4 goals in a quarter, was just lighting it up. Everything he touched turned to gold. They just played some really, really good football, and besides that game we saw early in the season against East Ringwood, they've had a fantastic season, and they're coming up against, I think, one of the contenders to the flag in Doncaster East. We haven't probably talked about them enough this year. They've built some form in the last month, and they've now proved themselves as a real contender and someone who will be wanting that top 2 spot really desperately.
All right, quickly, Scotty, who you reckon?
I'm going to go Vermont on this one.
Well, yeah, Jared?
I have Doncaster East in this one.
And you,
Yeah,
Ryan?
Doncaster East for me.
All right, and finally, right, the Premier Division for the Oracle, Balwyn 65, East Ringwood 86. South Croydon, who we'll talk about, 49 to beat Norwood 46. We've got Park Orchards 87 to beat Berwick 50. Blackburn 61 to beat Noble Park 41. Roval 88 to beat Doncaster 33. And the big surprise has got Vermont 85 defeating Doncaster East 65. So the Oracle has certainly gone out on a limb there in some of those games, especially some of those margins. I think, look, with such a tight division, Scotty, it's hard to fathom that some of these scores could be...
A bold Vermont tip, but yeah, I'll follow it. So it's going to be so good again, just to keep those scores up to date sort of through the day. And there's a few of our fellow broadcasters out at different matches, so we'll be getting sort of them right up to date.
All right, Jen, I'll set the scene for this afternoon's game before we go to our presentation. South Croydon 3-8, sitting in 9th position. Norwood 4-7, sitting in 8th. Both South Croydon average 67 points a season per match. Norwood 64. South Croydon have won 20 quarters out of 44, and Norwood 18 out of 44. In recent years, to finish in the top 6, last year Blackburn finished 9-8, 9-8-1. However, if it wasn't a top 6, Doncaster East with 11-6-1 would have been the entry point. 2019 was the year that South Croydon won the flag from a 10-8 position, but before that, a 12-6 was your minimum to get into the finals. These two sides sitting at 4-7 and 3-8 will need to win every single game, right, to even qualify for the bottom of the 6. Where does that leave these two today, and what are they playing for, Ryan?
I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at maybe a chance to play finals, but at the moment, both these sides are not safe from relegation, as we talked about. They're not that far ahead of the bottom 3, so it just relieves a lot of pressure for the side that does get the win today. Norwood are in some bad form, to be honest. They're out of form at the moment, haven't been able to play their best footy in recent weeks. South Croydon have had just so many injuries. Norwood too, and it's made an impact. And both sides just looking for 4 points, as I think we're about to get ready for the presentation down at ground level.
Let's take us down to our presentation for the NAIDOC week presentation between South Croydon and Norwood.
And just for our Radio Eastern listeners, if you are listening in, it may be a little bit quiet as the presentation gets underway. So I think we're
Just trying to get teams lined up.
fantastic to see. Also, the umpires wearing the Indigenous strip as well. Just this ground here at Cheon Park that the umpires have that, but that looks fantastic as well.
Maybe you can think
Ladies
about
and gentlemen, welcome everyone to Cheon Park. Thanks for coming out today. I'd like to welcome Nerylyn Duff to conduct the formal ceremonies today. She'll introduce herself and tell us a little bit about where she's from and the local people.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a really wonderful pleasure to be here, and particularly to witness your wonderful jerseys, jumpers, whatever you call them. I'm really impressed and so delighted to see everybody in their Aboriginal colours, and it's actually really touching for me to be here. I was just sharing with Jane before that that my husband, who was a man of colour, was severely injured in a racial attack just across the road here about 10 years ago, and that really affected our family for a long time. I feel like coming here today has really brought some healing to that terrible experience. And back in those times, I wouldn't have imagined that we would have been celebrating our culture as we are today. So thank you for this invitation. I wasn't really the person that you were expecting, but it's a real delight for me to fill in and be here with you all today. I'm not quite sure which way to stand, but I'll keep spinning around. So yes, my name's Nerylyn Duff. I am a Trawulway woman, but I've lived on Wurundjeri country all of my life. My family are originally from Tasmania. I've worked at the Mullum Mullum Indigenous Gathering Place up until quite recently, which is the gathering place that's just a couple of blocks up there. So I'm really connected with the local community here, and so it's a real honour to share with you today. I firstly just wanted to thank the Croydon South Football Club for having the insight to and the initiative to be arranging an Indigenous round and to have your Indigenous jerseys and to be honouring Indigenous people today. This is a ceremony that Aboriginal people have been doing for thousands of years, and as I acknowledge country today, I ask that you tread lightly on the land, and by that I mean to care for it by removing rubbish, caring for our animals, respecting each other, being fair and showing justice and equity in your everyday life. And I can see that those things are a big part of this club, so you should be very proud. As Aboriginal people, we believe that walking through the smoke is a way of cleansing our mind, our spirit and our body. So as we do this ceremony today, I'll put a large amount of gum leaves on the fire, and then if we can, it'd be wonderful for those circled around here to be able to come and walk through the flames, not through the flames, do not walk through the flames, walk through the smoke and feel that cleansing. Sorry, I'm having a technical difficulty here. Which of course always happens. Just a moment. Okay. It's all right. Okay. So as you walk through the smoke, I ask that you, if you would like to, pull some of the smoke over you in a motion of I suppose like you would pull water over your head if you were going to splash water over yourself. That's what we do as a traditional part of this ceremony, is to pull the smoke over our head and cleanse the soles of our feet and our hands. And as we pull the smoke over our heads, it's a way of cleansing our minds and our thoughts. So Today you'll notice that I'm wearing my traditional possum skin cloak. And the possum skin cloak is a really important part of ceremony in the southern parts of Australia. They don't wear possum skin cloaks in far north Queensland for obvious reasons, but it's wonderful to have that with me today because that represents my family. On the reverse of our possum skin cloak, we record the stories of our life and the stories of our family, and we wear these in ceremony. So, and I would only wear this when it's a true, honourable and respectful ceremony, so I'm happy to be wearing that here today with you. So please feel welcome on this land. I acknowledge that we are on the lands of the Wurundjeri people, the Woiwurrung speaking people, part of the Great Kulin Nation, and we pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. I pay respects to all elders here today, to all of our Indigenous players, and indeed to all of the allies here today. And by allies I mean those people that walk beside us as Aboriginal people. You're the people that we need to continue to change the systems that colonisation set up. And so our allies are really important to us, people that will help us to continue to fight for change and fight for justice for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So I'm about to put some leaves on the fire, and then I ask that you just come through single file and walk through the smoke, and then I will that will be the ceasing of this ceremony. But thanks again for your inviting me along and for agreeing to hold such a ceremony as this. It's a great honour for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people to see this, and thank you.
Welcome back to our radio Eastern 98.1 listeners. Introducing the call team for the big clash between South Croydon and Norwood, and on our two call-by-call commentators, I'd like to welcome Brett Beston and Jarrett Beanland. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon, Brash. Yeah, it should be a good one this. Of course, a very special occasion with it's been NAIDOC week, which finishes, I believe, tomorrow. So this is the NAIDOC round, celebrating all things Indigenous. A really special occasion. And of course, we've got the smoking ceremony going at the moment. Two sides, Jarrett, who it's fair to say are not exactly flying, but it is a great occasion, and probably the last roll of the dice for both these teams. One of them, the loser today, definitely out of contention. The winner, probably a long shot as well, but possibly still a chance to make finals.
Who do you think, Brett?
South Croydon for me. I think...
margin, you reckon? Smallish?
I think that, maybe 12 to 15 points.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it, Norwood get absolutely smashed by Berwick last week, and I watched a little bit of that game online, and they got really done big time. So, look, they'll be looking to bounce back, but both sides, as I say, not travelling that well, but I just like South Croydon, particularly out here at Chong Park. So, but probably not a lot in it, maybe 10 to 12 points.
Jared?
I'm a little bit more bullish on South Croydon. They really took it to East Ringwood last week, and East Ringwood, you know, they're looking to stamp their name as premiership contenders, perhaps the premiership's favourites if they're able to get up over Baldwin today. And so for South Croydon to be able to do that, they're starting to show some real form. I just worry a little bit with a couple of the outs for South Croydon, both Walker and Cooper coming out of the side today.
Yeah,
and
Dan Cooper's a big, he's a big out.
Yeah,
So.
and Tom Shink already not in the country, actually.
Yeah, I believe he's doing a big maths master contest overseas.
Yeah, really
Good luck to
interesting.
him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wondered why he was missing. I figured he must have been injured, but yeah.
No, he's a
So
maths
South
king.
Croydon for you?
I've got South Croydon.
What do you reckon?
I think 6 goals.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very bullish on your part.
Mm-hmm.
Also in doing the stats, and he's become the stats extraordinaire, Paul Coney. How are you, Paul?
Yeah, good rush.
Good call this morning too.
Yep. It was a great game. I call alongside Ryan, and it was a great game. I think South Croydon will get up by about 2 or 3 goals today.
Yeah. Joining me on special comments this afternoon, Scotty Hardy, welcome to you. First time on commentary this year. You've had a chance to watch the EFNL from afar.
Yeah,
Have you been impressed?
Thanks, Rash. It was part of round 1, but it's been a long time between then and there. Although I was down here for the boundary for
that's right.
South Croydon and Blackburn, and look, it's been a tale of sort of time for South Croydon. I hope that they can turn it around. I am picking them. I always have enjoyed watching them play footy, but matched up very well against Norwood, and it should be an absolute ripping contest.
I walked in this morning and I looked and I thought, who's that guy in the end? It's been so long since. Now, welcome, Scotty. It's great to have you back. I've really missed you. It seems like forever.
It does. And I could have been down here at 9 a.m. this morning. I was that excited to be part of it again.
It's great to have you back.
I've missed it, and what a round to take part in. It always has such a good feel at the ground as well, and between both these clubs. And listening to the boys speak, we obviously had it pre-game, and for those that haven't listened, jump on our socials and Braden and Jamie sort of speak, on behalf of their club and about about what they've sort of designed in their jumpers, and it's just such an amazing day, and everyone it's just such a good feeling around the club.
I just feel, Brett, that I look at the two sides. I think South Croydon are a little bit more experienced. They've got premiership players in there. I think they've got a recognised full forward in Wilson. I'm not seeing that.
That could be a good point, actually, Brash, because I think Hugh Johnson's kicked 17, but he played a bit of a different role last week. So they don't have an out-and-out full forward. And James Wilson is a very good...
And I think the only guy that I think that could offer Norwood a decent or a multiple goal kicker is Rhett Jordan, who we know in the past is more than capable of kicking more than 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah.
He's going to really have to be prominent this afternoon, depending on where Marty Pask has him playing.
Yeah.
I just sort of feel that, taking all things into consideration, Croydon's got a 9-6 home win record since 2022. Norwood's away record at 5-10 doesn't inspire me to tip them away from home.
No.
And I think, all right, the margins are close between them this season, but I think with the experience and the grounds in one of the better grounds is in really good nick. I got South Croydon winning by about 9 points, I reckon.
A couple of quite big outs too. One guy that is missing, and I was talking to a couple of my learned colleagues, and they informed me he's overseas at the moment, is Max King. Who I've always rated enormously highly.
Well, I tell you what, he must be. I tell you what, he's running the old canteen, mate. Max King. Is he?
I don't know who your learned friends are.
They told me he was overseas.
He's just here in front of us.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it was that Blake Tennant.
Well, actually, I think it was. Yeah. He told me he was overseas.
Are our boundary riders down there, Ed?
Someone get a chat with Maxie. He's to your left. He's just in front of us, and asking what happened to his overseas trip.
He told me he was overseas.
I did not say that.
You did so.
Anyway, good to be back here. Been a while since I'm on the boundary, and I'm on with the young and emerging Dill Smith. But I think South Croydon won the toss, and they'll be kicking to the right of your screen.
Who wins?
I think. Who wins?
Yeah.
I think I've got South Croydon just at home.
How much?
I'll give him about 15 points. It'll
what
be
about
really
Dylan?
close game.
Dill, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I found this one really hard to split, to be honest, and I think this game might need a hero, so I'm backing in Braden Kilpatrick here. He's number one for ranking points in the competition. We know he does the clearance work and the disposals, but he's actually number one for score involvements as well, Kilpatrick, so backing him in, I think South Croydon by a couple of goals.
Well, there you have it. Most of the majority, or in fact nearly all of us, have gone for South Croydon, albeit by a smallish margin, so that shows you that Norwood gentlemen are still a chance, but I just think that they didn't do it for Dano on his 300th game last week, but I think they can do it for his 301st game.
That's right, and they've got a couple of well, I don't mean to be unkind, but a couple of older stages out there, and Dano King, and also let's not forget Robbie Mallinson too, and a couple of the other guys who are probably, I think, part of that 2017 premiership, which seems such a long time ago. But they've just got a bit more experience, and as I say, neither side been travelling that well, but I think on their home deck, and I think they've just got a little bit of an edge today, and I think they'll get it.
Unfortunately for South Croydon supporters, Max King unfortunately won't be playing again this year, which is a real blow for them, but he's just seeing him quietly run out to the huddle. He's been working in the canteen.
Get him out of the hot dog.
I tell you what, that's a club.
Maybe he was trying to go over soon. I said, no, sorry, it's not.
I must have been thinking about someone else.
No, that must put him in turn for best clubman, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He's a fabulous player. Really is.
And they really do miss him. I mean, look, we talk about players, how important they are to a side, but gee, Max King has turned out to be only a huge loss for them structurally, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, both in the ruck, and he can go forward and kick goals as well. But they don't have him today, so no point in crying over spilt milk, as the saying goes. But yeah, they'll have to find someone else.
Well, Best, I think it must be time for me to shut my mouth, and I'll let you and Jared take
about
over.
60 seconds.
Yeah,
he's enjoyed it, Brash. Well done.
Yeah, good stuff hosting today, Brash.
So let's enjoy the call.
Yeah. So handshakes in the middle as we get set for this one. It's quite an exciting occasion. Like, you sort of feel quite pumped after all the pre-game and the smoking ceremony, and the fact that it's the NAIDOC game. It's a very significant day. But the umpire holding the ball aloft, and here's Jared Beanland to get us underway for this big NAIDOC game.
And also getting us underway here, it's Jack Schenk against Michael Wen in there for Norwood. So the clearance is going to go Norwood's way by the looks of it. It's been fed out to Bernal. Gretchen's handball was stifled there, and Dano King takes the advantage of that. He found some space, got the kick towards centre half forward. It's come off hands. Halloran picks it up, gets it to O'Neill. Bouncing kick inside forward 50 for South Croydon to start us off here. Bit of a scrap there at centre half forward. Kilpatrick trying to extract it from that. Callie was able to get a kick away, but it was intercepted, and Norwood will rebound here. Not for long though. Mark taken by Dylan Marshall. And South Croydon, they look to go a little bit wide there. Mark, I think they're taken by, is this Birch?
No, it's Matty Jones.
Matty Jones out on the wing there. Kick towards left half forward. Good mark taken. Going back and trying to swing onto his right there for South Croydon. He's kicked it to the hot spot, but a good mark taken down there for Norwood. A good intercept, and they'll try and work it out through Tristan Tweedy. Takes the mark in the pocket. A little hemmed in here. Goes for a bit of a jog. The iconic long sleeves and moustache of Tristan Tweedy, making him very distinctive out there, and the mark's been taken by Josh Wall for Norwood. So good link-up play here. Let's see if they can load up and put their first thrust forward onto the board. And another good mark there. That was well done. So that's Rhett Jordan. Worked his way up the ground.
Matthew George on him for the day.
And he's a good kick towards the top of the goal square. Nearly a mark taken by Potts. It's been a snap around the body there by Hugh Johnson, but it's just the 1 point.
So, frenetic start to this one as the scoring on the board the first score on the board goes the way of Norwood, and they lead by a point. So it's going to be a restart, and coming the way of George. He'll kick the ball back into play. Out towards the far side. Now it's in the hands of Norwood as good tackle coming in there over there.
Good tackle.
Just in front of the scoreboard.
Must be rewarded.
and he's played the holding the ball, I think. So
Alex Birch.
Red Jordan playing in the forward line, like I said, Matthew George manning up at him, but Red's running him all over the ground at the moment, so they're just trying to find the matchup for Red at the moment.
So Birch stabs it down the ground. It's South Croydon have had the better of this game. Nice handball from Cass. Off they come. Cass again goes out wide. That's Jones, I think, as he goes inside 50, trying to get it into the pocket. Up they fly, and the ball is knocked out of bounds on the far side of the ground. And we'll have a throw in just near the forward pocket. So just the 1 point on the board so far, and we've been playing for just coming up to 3 minutes.
So the ball in here will come just inside South Croydon's forward 50. No clear ruck contest there. Dano King goes for it there, trying to take on Bettison. It's just built out. Goes to O'Neill. He managed to find a little bit of space and enough to get a kick down towards the pocket. Chasing onto it was the Wombat, Robbie Mallison. But the boundary line beat him.
And Max King, the clubman, is doing running duties now. So he stepped off the canteen and he stepped into there. So this is the man, he's getting around. Just not overseas.
How did Mallison get the name of the Wombat, Bresh? Do you know?
I got no idea, and I don't want to know.
I think that was Matt Bodie's work. Yeah, I think
so. It was just the in and under sort of contest. Really.
So good clearance win there for South Croydon, but the kick it towards goal, it was spilt by Tweedy. He was happy enough to see it over the boundary line.
But it's a nickname that I wouldn't like to be labelled with, Brett.
I've heard worse.
Yeah, I've been called worse.
I think it's affectionate. I wouldn't be surprised.
The rabbit was another one that they had. They had all the animals.
And there's, it was Jones out of the clearance there, and I think he's nicknamed the Rat as his. I think we learned that on Anzac Day. It's a whole menagerie out there for South Croydon as the ball just trickled over the line into the pocket.
Welcome to Melbourne Zoo. We've got the Rat, the Wombat. So umpire to throw it in, forward pocket.
I can't see the rabbit.
It's been all Norwood as the ball goes in. One out of the ruck as it's knocked down the end of the hands of McKernan, that was, and here they come. Jones wheels around, funny little kick to no one really in particular, none of his teammates anyway, and the ball comes out wheeling around as Jaffa Williams, the bloke with the best name in the EFNL, spreads the ball in the middle of the field, but he's kicked it away, and here they come again, out wide. Gathering it there is number 53, that's Schenk. Bouncing around all over the place, trying to get his hands on it there was Felton. It's a bit untidy. Now they kick it forward. No mark taken, picked up by the Wombat as he loses control of the ball. Cause of holding the ball as Kemp takes it, and once the umpire paid here, probably just a ball up, I'd say.
Good tackle there by Carl. You know he's been rewarded.
So, no, in fact, it is holding the ball, so there you go. So number 20 is, that's Kelly.
Yep,
he's
going
to have a crack. So just taking, I think he's... he doesn't look terribly confident. I think he's probably going to try and set it up.
Yeah, I think the wind is really playing havoc here. That might be going right to left here.
So here's Kelly's kick. He starts it out right. Is it going to come back? But it's not coming back enough. And it's free for another minor score. So 1 point apiece on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And we've had 5 minutes.
You're probably almost thinking you're going to have to aim inside that right-hand goal post going down to that end to allow for the swing.
As Norwood try to work it out of their back 50. Mark nearly taken there by Jordan. It's come to Kemp. He hands it to Jaffa Williams. Sorry, that's Bennell. Goes for a bit of a run. This is ambitious stuff here, but it worked out.
He's run about 20 metres.
And they've got a one-on-one situation in forward 50, and Potts takes the mark. He completely outpointed Dylan Marshall there, and the umpire said illegally. So Dylan Marshall will take the free kick. Little chip there towards the boundary line.
Gee, I'm a bit perplexed about that one.
It was a bit odd, wasn't it?
Don't you reckon he ran too far, though? He seemed to run a mile.
Yeah, well, very much so. I think Mallison just wanted the free kick and he did not lay the tackle because he thought it was that far.
Charlton takes the mark, and they've switched it across the ground here to Matty George. Kick onto the wing. Halloran was the target. Good punch there over the top by Bird. Bird tried to scoop it up. Laid tackle by 2 South Croydon players, and it's holding. He drew the free kick, Bird. So a little bit of clumsiness there from South Croydon. Feltham kicks it towards centre half forward, and the mark's been taken now by Lachlan Dixon.
Another experienced player, Dixon, really needs to stand up this afternoon if Norwood hope to take the 4 points home.
What's the wind doing down this way, Brash, you reckon, on this side?
Oh, I think you're still going to... I reckon the opposite. You might have to go left to right. Because I reckon the ball's being dragged across.
So Dixon, deliberate approach in. He's going to kick it from the paint of the square. It's a long one. It's going to fade left, however, and the mark was swallowed up pretty easily there, I think, by Aldous. And South Croydon will take it away. Shink is the target down the line. It was tapped over the boundary line. Let's go to the score centre with Ryan Long.
Just an update from Edwin Flack Reserve. Park Orchards 4-1-25 to Berwick 2-1-13.
Oh, okay. So Berwick off to a bit of a slow start, unlike last week when they got hold of Norwood, of course. As we just wait for the umpire to throw it in. He's Dano King looking resplendent as always in his long sleeves, and it goes right over the back. One there by Wen. He had a terrific game last week. He's going to be a big player today on the ruck. Ball on the ground. Bennell goes in, and he will be... It's going to be just a ball up. He couldn't get it clear.
I think both sides are going to have to play that extra kick into their forward 50 because I don't think they're going to be able to make the distance on long range kicking for goal.
So Wen got the head out, picked up by OD. OD goes long to the goal square. Mark not taken. Might have been a case for a free kick as Potts got manhandled, but the umpire's given it the other way, and South Croydon will bring it out off half back.
Liam Cox takes the mark, little chipping ball towards the wing there. 2-on-1 situation with South Croydon, didn't matter as the boundary line was the one that won it all. And so we'll get a throw in there, just in front of South Croydon's interchange benches. It's 1 point apiece here, 8.5 minutes gone in the first quarter as we look at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. The two ruckmen go at it. Akaruru was pushed out by Wen, but didn't matter in the end. According to the umpire, Bichetti found himself in some strife, gave it to a man who's even more strife, which was Maloney. But it's okay for Norwood.
Both sides, Scotty, finding it difficult for clean ball.
Very much so at the moment. Just here's one way they might get it out.
Wen just took it out of the ruck contest, and the kick came towards Norwood's forward line. Scooped up there by Hugh Johnson. Got the pass back, got it back now. They're trying to centre the ball here, Norwood. They've gone a long way back to Cooper Holmes, who's going to switch it across the ground. They're going to go the long way home here now through Tristan Tweedy. Sells a bit of the candy. Goes for a long kick. Spearing ball inside forward 50. A really good mark there taken by Matthew Aldous under heavy pressure, and he'll take it away from defensive 50.
So Matt Jones it was, he got the kick out, but it didn't find its target. Getting his hands on it there was Dixon. He tries to find a teammate, and he does. Tell you what, there's some pretty frenetic defence out there. There's Kilpatrick, got it for a moment, then gave it away. There's Jones. He said, in fact, it was Mallinson out there. They've had plenty of the footy so far, South Croydon, and here they come again. So reeling around onto the right foot, they go inside 50. It's a bit of a sketchy old kick, and Birch can't get his hands on it, and it's out of bounds. I tell you what, boys, what about that moustache on Tristan Tweedy? That's the best moustache in the EFNL by a long way. You don't see one like that anymore.
He rivals Oleg Markov, I'd say.
So I'm trying to throw it in on the far side. So still waiting for the first goal. There's been plenty of ball movement, but just not a lot of happening, as it's one out of there by Wilson. 33 goals for James Wilson this year, so he's bound to get on the scoreboard at some stage today as Hudson takes the mark in the middle of the ground. Just deciding to slow it down. Not too many people to kick to, but eventually does get the kick in board. Bit of a juggle there, but nicely taken by Rhett Jordan. Knows where the goals are himself. Kick is a bit of a sketchy one. South Croydon have turned it over. He's Jones, he's had plenty of it early. Kilpatrick goes in board. Nice kick, finds McEwen. And away they come, South Croydon, once again off halfback.
So it was McKeon with the ball, gets it to Dano King through a kick. Dano King goes for a bit of a jog. He found himself in some space and found the centre corridor there as well. So South Croydon looking to go quick here, straight down the middle. The mark was taken there by Kennedy. His ball finds a one-on-one situation. It just went over the top of Wilson there. Trying to find it at ground level is Cass, but the boundary line, it was there, but Helleran kept it in.
Oh, the rabbit is there.
Yeah. And the boundary line won the day in the end, unfortunately for Helleran.
He was hiding.
And let's go to the stat centre with Paul.
The inside 50s in this first quarter are 6-5 in favour of South Croydon.
It's been very even, hasn't it, through general play, as Feltham got it to a teammate. Now it's come to O'Day, takes a bounce outside of back 50. Got it to Hudson. Hudson now looking for a handball option. They're linking up well through Gretchen. Now O'Day once again. Just had to compose himself, take control of the ball and get a kick. They're switching the ball up well.
And they're finding the spare players on the wings, Norwood, with ease. So probably South Croydon need to shut that down.
Yeah, they're working hard into space, the Norsemen, to start this game off. But this kick is a little bit more stunted. Had to take some time and found O'Day once again, who's racked up a few possessions in this past play. It's been good early for Norwood. Very slow play here. As we remind you, 1 point apiece on the scoreboard, 12 minutes gone. Tristan Tweedy gets the kick down and Michael Gretchen takes the mark. So Gretchen nearly found a teammate there, but it's been turned over just about by South Croydon. They couldn't complete the turnover as Dixon was there with safe hands. Now it's come to Kemp. Kick inside forward 50 for Norwood, and the mark's been taken by Potts. And he's hard up against the boundary line here. Not the first shot at goal for Norwood. They missed one earlier.
Tell you what, if he kicks this, he'd be an early contender for goal of the day, because this is a very difficult shot here.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see if he goes the drop punt or goes round the corner. He's holding the ball like it's going to be perhaps a check side on the right. Daniel Potts has pushed it across the face of goal, just the 1 point. But they've doubled their score, Norwood.
So the laws of physics certainly against him there, but he gave it a good crack. But we're still waiting for our first goal, 2 behinds to 1. We've had 30 minutes gone out here at Cheong Park, the big NAIDOC match. Reasonable conditions. We've got a bit of overhead cloud, but the sun is poking its head through, should I say, as George goes take it over the time to go home, I think. Young as the footy gets a little kick in board, and here they come again. The Norsemen. Nice chip into the middle of the grounds.
They've actually gone backwards, Norwood.
Yeah, but they'll find this space out here.
So Tweedy with the ball. Just looking for the open spaces to try and set it up now. Tweedy goes across. It's all well and good to go across, but you've got to go forward at some stage, and that's not a good kick over the top, and it's close to the boundary line, and it will go out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in.
They needed to pull the trigger there. They had Holmes out on his space, and then he could take the run, but just waited for that extra player, and that sort of slowed him up.
Yep.
Well, Premier Data had to work hard there for the last 30 seconds.
So back into play here. Dano King's trying to rove it. He got the tap down towards Cox, but it was intercepted there by Norwood. But they've laid a good tackle on him of South Croydon. And that was Feltham, James Feltham. Couldn't go anywhere with that. Ball up. Wen versus Akaruru. Akaruru lost that one. Gretchen nearly took the clearance, but it's all South Croydon right now. Cass got the handball away. Now the kick is going to try to find O'Neill. Mark's taken, however, instead by Cooper Holmes. So Norwood to try and force their way forward again. They're keeping control of the ball. They're playing this ground a lot like Blackburn did when we were here in Anzac Day. Nearly a good tackle laid by Cooper Holmes, but it was in the back there. Bit of a clumsy situation there. Sorry, it was Gretchen, not Holmes. So the kick by Dano King finds a contest on the side of the centre square, and that's another free kick pulled out. So a bit of clumsiness in the past couple of contests, drawing some free kicks, and Dixon's going to switch the ball up, pass it down the line. Dylan Feltham is going to blaze away inside forward 50, and it's just bounced over.
It's just that kick that they're struggling with. They get it out on the wing, that they get that player easily open, but then once they go forward towards their forward half, they're just not hitting the target. So Norwood need to find that target. They'll get then their pressure on into the forward line.
So umpire to throw it in. As we wait. Now the ball is in, almost taken there by Akaruru, the late in for South Croydon. And the umpire says we'll have it ball up again, just inside the 50-metre arc. Up it goes again. Wen got the head out that time. Knocks it down. A couple of players going for the footy together. It's been won nicely over there. Norwood, they get it out for the moment, but it's all really untidy. No one really can get their hands on the ball, and I reckon we'll finish up with another stoppage, and the umpire comes in, blows the whistle, and says, give it to me.
This is really typical 8th versus 9th game at the moment. Neither side is able to take ascendancy in the contest early.
So Akaruru almost took that one out of the ruck without even jumping, and he's wrapped up on the ground again.
I think that both teams are a little bit cautious as well. Once that first goal comes, then floodgates should hopefully open.
Let's hope so. Otherwise, we're going to be in for one of the more low-scoring games of the season as Maloney gets a little handball off. Given away there, it's Bettison now who has it. He goes out wide, tries to hit a target, and he does. Into the hands there of Bird. Here's an opportunity. Bird goes back. So they seem reluctant to go forward, Norwood. They're just playing quite a sort of safe game as the tackle comes in there from O'Neill, and he went into the back. And that'll be a free kick going the way of Feltham.
Feltham, Brett.
So, what is it, sorry?
Feltham.
Feltham. So there's the kick. Ball bouncing around inside 50. Awkward. And they'll... under a bit of pressure here, South Croydon is taken there nicely by Basido.
That's got to be holding the ball. He tried to take on the tackle.
Yep. And he's taken on the tackle, and it is going to be a free kick going the way of South Croydon. A chance for them to clear.
So it's Tom Hardstaff to take the free kick from the pocket there. South Croydon 0-1-1 there on the scoreboard to 0-2-2. Very low scoring game here. So taking the mark just in front of the interchange bench is Sam Calley. Slow play for South Croydon, just trying to go down the line, find their free options, and this time it's Liam Cox. And now they switch it up into the corridor. Oh, had to be a good kick, and it was. Aldous received the handball. Dano King trying to come in there to tackle as the handball was turned over from Aldous. Norwood player at the bottom of the pack there.
Yeah, that was a very speculative handball there by Aldous.
But what a kick to the centre there.
It was.
Well, that was over ambitious and came off.
Yeah, that was Liam Cox there who kicked that. So impressive stuff by him. But getting the clearance once again is Norwood. Seems to be getting the ascendancy there from the clearances. The kick now goes down towards Hugh Johnson. He has to contend there with Matthew George, and George won the one-on-one. His kick goes down the line, but it's mostly Norwood here at this point. Wall couldn't take the ball before it went over the line. And so we'll get yet another throw in there. 18.5 minutes gone here at Cheong Park for the special NAIDOC week celebration game. So in we go. Shink up against Wen in the contest there. Trying to get his way through was Calley. He was tackled. He took them on. But was the tackle illegal?
There's a free kick. There's a bit in that.
There it was, yeah.
Umpire Sully going up and speaking to number 18 of Norwood.
That's
for some
Josh
untoward behaviour.
25 as well. Oh, and another player down.
Oh, okay. The umpire had a bit of a good finger wag on him there.
There's a bit going on.
Him off. So the free kick's gone to Calley, Sam Calley, and he's also been awarded the 25-metre penalty, and it brings him within range here to try and kick South Croydon's first goal, and of course the first goal of the game. Bit of an angle to negotiate here. I'd say he'd be kicking from about 30 to 35 metres out when the ball leaves his boot. Sam Calley marches in. This to break the drought of goals in this game, and he's done just that. Good stuff by Sam Calley. Bit of a gift there from clumsiness on the part of Norwood, but they've done well.
Well, he's kicked all their
to make sure of it.
Sam Calley.
He has, hasn't he?
So he's the best player on the ground at the moment.
I was just about to muse when was the last time we saw a first quarter without any goals, but
and goal of the day so far. So
well, yes.
Any other stats, Paul?
Yeah, well, the clearances at the clearances at the moment are the free kicks at the moment are 7-3 in favour of South Croydon.
So umpire throws it up, one out of the middle there by Wen. We've had, in fact, we're just ticking into time on now, so it's been a very low-scoring first quarter, but it can only get better as the ball comes out. Trying to get his hands on it there was O'Neill, couldn't do so. They're under a bit of pressure. Norwood, almost a high shot there. Ooh. And Kemp it was, he got the handball away, but the umpire's whistle was gone, and it is going to be a free kick. So Kemp gives it off to Feltham, and they're out off half-back here. The Norseman, long kick forward to nobody in particular, getting back there, trying to get his hands in. Jaffa Williams did really well. Gets a bit of a hospital handball back inside, though, to a teammate. And it's taken there by Bird, and he's wrapped up well and truly, and the umpire comes in and balls it up. So 117 plays two behinds on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Now it goes inside 50 again. Who can get on the end of this? Nobody in particular. And it's taken across the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket.
We've got some stats with Paul.
The clearances are 9-5 in favour of Vermont. Norwood.
So up it goes. Ball goes to ground, taken nicely by the kick back inside. It's a bit of an awkward one. Bouncing around awkwardly for Cox. He's in a bit of trouble. He's going to do well to get out of this because there's plenty of Norsemen. Look at all the Norwood players there. Did pretty well in the end to get out of it. Spinning away there was, well, as they were under enormous pressure, and in the end they'll be happy to get it through for a behind.
Let's go to the score centre with Ryan Long.
Just some scores from Division 1. Moolbach 5-3-33 to Bayswater yet to score. Croydon 2-1-13, Montana South 1-2-8, and South Belgrave 16 points leading Beaconsfield at quarter time.
So Birch got the handball received, but he was tackled immediately by Bedison, who got the, they've taken the advantage here in Norwood. I'm not sure if it was well advised, but Yaron Jaffa-Williams had the composure to skewer the ball inside forward 50. It's a bouncing one. South Croydon to try and clean it up here through George. Gives a bit of a step to the invisible man. And, well, it was Maloney there who tried to contest that, but it's come away for South Croydon once again. Liam Cox kicks it down the line. It's Kilpatrick and Helleran here. Helleran actually took the ball from the bounce, got it off to Hardstaff. His is a kick inside forward 50 towards the pocket. Wilson, it was out in front of him, but too far out in front of him, and they scored it over the line.
Something tells me it's going to be a real tough day for forwards this today.
The delivery hasn't been perfect for either team.
No excuse. I mean, the conditions are perfect.
Yeah.
I think the wind's got a bit to do with it out there. I think it's a bit of a swirling breeze.
What's it like down at the boundary to Dylan and Blake there?
Yeah, it's not too bad. There is a bit of a wind heading in the South Croydon goal direction down that end, but it's not too bad.
So the inside 50 work here from Kilpatrick. Tried to find a target. Oh, Mallison just off the ground level, and it hit the post. Oh, good opportunistic shot there by Mallison, but didn't come off, unfortunately.
What do you reckon, Dylan? Is it a 2-3 goal bruise?
Oh, 1 or 2, I reckon, mate. It's I think the bigger issue with the kicking inside 50 is down to ball movement. Both teams have looked to go pretty slow, and that's sort of given the defences time to push back.
Yeah, a good point, I think. 23 minutes played, so it's 8 played 3, 1-2 played 3 behinds. As we just wait for the restart, long ball in, getting over the back there. Wen got the hit out, I think, for Norwood, and it's fallen for them again. The kick goes up. Getting his hands on it, in fact trying to get his hands on it there was George. Did pretty well in the end, but he's wrapped his opposite number Hudson up, and the umpire will come in and I tell you what, there's a bit of feeling in this one, and it's on again here. There's a few players. Jaffa Williams got pushed out of the way. Meanwhile, the play goes on.
Oh my gosh.
And it's...
You watch the ball, I watch the fight.
Well, George...
It's a bit hard to know.
It's just a fight now.
I reckon Blair Hudson's going to get a card here.
I was watching the play, but over to the right, there's about most of the players are in there. And there's a
boundary.
Yellow card as we go down to the boundary.
Yeah, it was Blair Hudson there for a strike on Matthew George. I'm not sure if he's been reported, but the umpire's got the yellow card out now, so...
Well, actually, George started that because that was a very, very heavy tackle that he laid on Hudson, and he rode him really into the ground. And I think he took exception to that, but what always happens is the person that reciprocates always comes off second best.
He wasn't happy, Hudson, either. He was pointing to his head as if to say, what about me, ump? But,
but he's then given an elbow to the back of the head of the other player. So you two wrongs don't make a right.
Absolutely not.
So once again, South Croydon just trying to chip it backwards here. Oh, they've just stored. It's all come unstuck there for South Croydon. The kick towards the goal square has come from inside the paint of the square. We're going to have to look at which Norwood player it was. And it was Rhett Jordan kicking his 23rd goal for the year. First goal of the game for Norwood, and they have taken the lead by 1 point.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't hit your target and you're going across goal. Right, you expose trying to go to that fat side. If you don't hit that target, you're in trouble.
Let's go down to the boundary. So a bit of a coach killer, that one. As we go back to the middle. So we've had 25 minutes, so there can't be a heck of a lot longer to go. Particularly, we've only had 2 goals in this term. 9 playing 8s on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the big NAIDOC round. Welcome to the coverage if you just joined us on 98.1 Radio Eastern, and of course YouTube and Facebook as they come away with it. The Norseman again, there's Jaffa Williams just getting a little short chip forward, beautiful kick, and he finds a target, and here's another opportunity into the hands of Johnson, who's kicked 17 goals for the season, and he'll go back and try and put another one on the board. This will be a big one for Norwood. That'll give them the biggest lead of the game.
Big Michael Wen in the midfield for Norwood. He's really taken control in the ruck here.
Yeah, they've got no one to go with him, Brash, because obviously with Max King not there, it was always going to be Wednesday.
Tom Hoford as well, not playing today.
Yeah, exactly, yep. So it puts a lot of pressure on Akaruru, the late in. So here's the kick from Johnson. Not a tough kick, but there is the wind to contend with, and he's put it to the left. You can see the goal umpire was moving pretty early. So maybe I did him a bit of a disservice. 1-4-10 plays 1-2-8. Bendigo Bank scoreboard 26.5 played in the first term.
And it's this early inaccuracy that paid to Norwood's chances against Barrack last week.
Yeah.
So the kick in comes for South Croydon. It's been taken there by Willis. No mark taken on the outer side as the siren blows for quarter time here at Cheong Park for this special NAIDOC edition of a Premier Division game. South Croydon versus Norwood. South Croydon 1-2-8 to Norwood 1-4-10. Besto, there weren't many goal scorers.
There wasn't no major goal kickers, but
go over it.
Kelly has one and Jordan has one. They're the only 2 goals that have been kicked for this first term. Low-scoring game, but nonetheless entertaining at times and plenty to be played for in these next 3 quarters. So quarter time out here at Cheong Park. It is, as Jared said, 1-4-10 to Norwood. They lead by 2 points over the South Croydon side, 1-2-8. And we'll take a quick break and come back and wrap up. We'll take a look back over the first quarter in just a moment.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
"Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers."
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
So welcome back to Cheong Park, and a very interesting clash out here. Not a high-scoring clash by any stretch of the imagination, but things will certainly pick up, you would think, as the game gets on. But it's been quite enjoyable nonetheless. And as we get to the quarter-time break, it's the Norsemen with a narrow lead, 1-4-10, leading the home side, South Croydon, 1-2-8. And I guess an opportunity with the quarter-time break to pick up some scores around the grounds. And Ryan Long is just wait for him to bring up his...
Yep, yeah, it's all
ready
good.
to go,
At quarter time, Park Orchards lead Berwick 4-3 to 2-2. Noble Park 2-4 to Blackburn 5 behinds. Roval 26 to Doncaster 7. Jumping into Division 1, as we mentioned just before, a big start from Roebuck 33-0 at quarter time against Bayswater. Croydon by 5 points over Wanturna South at quarter time. A 16-point lead to South Belgrave over Beaconsfield. And North Ringwood in front by 2 points at quarter time over Mitcham. Jumping into Division 2, Boronia lead East Burwood by 2 goals. Templestowe lead the Basin 4-2-26 to 1-4-10. Knox in front at quarter time 3-3-21 to an inaccurate Jets 2-8-20.
Gosh.
Jumping into Division 3 now, Coldstream 4-3-27 lead Fair Park 1-4-10 in the second quarter there.
Donvale with a 18-point lead over Sylvan. Oakley District with a 21-point lead over Whitehorse. A goal to Warrandyte has them in front at quarter time, 24-18. And then in Division 4, Scoresby leads Nuttawading by 13 points, and Kilsyth 3-2-20 to Churnside Park yet to score.
Geez, that Donvale-Sylvan game should be, it's a pretty big game today in that particular division, but Donvale, hard to see anyone betting them at the moment. They're absolutely flying. But back to this one, Brash, and not a high-scoring game as we said, but what did you make of the first quarter?
Yeah, well, it's a game that hasn't reached great heights. It's been error-riddled by both sides. Neither side are able to find any sort of clean air or chain plays together. I think it's going to come down to who uses the ball better moving into their 50 and who makes the least mistakes.
Let's go down to the boundary with Dylan, who's got one of the coaches with him.
Yeah, I'm here with the Norwood senior coach, Marty Pask. Marty, how did you find that first quarter so far?
It was a bit difficult, obviously, with the conditions, just trying to work out actually what you can and can't do. It's a bit of a swirly breeze. If anything, I think we were probably kicking into it a little bit, so it was good to probably jag one down that end. I felt we controlled the ball really, really well. Our contest stuff was really good. Just a couple of lazy little things around the contest, a couple of free kicks against, that sort of thing, that just to tidy up. But other than that, reasonably pleased.
I was going to talk to you about that ball movement. It looked like you really tried to control the ball and slow play it at times. Was that something that you had planned for South Croydon particularly, or was it just sort of getting into the game?
It's probably more, mate, going down that end, particularly with this breeze. And I think when you can control the ball and you can understand that you can sort of look at what you need to do, what angles might pop up, what part of the ground might open up, because it's really an interesting day with this swirly conditions in terms of which actual ground, which end you can actually score from the most. So we're sort of learning that watching the two games beforehand. But look, I think today's a day that, you certainly want to be controlling it ball in hand and then working out sort of what your next plan of attack should be from that next mark.
All right, mate. Thanks for that. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Good job. Paul, I'm going to catch on the hop. Have you got any key stats from that first quarter?
So in the clearances in the first quarter, Norwood 12-5, 3 intercept marks to zip in favour of Norwood, and the inside 50s 12-8 in favour of Norwood.
So it's Maloney who takes it out of the middle, gets a kick forward, a huge tackle. It's got to be on the back, surely. The umpire, it's been paid against Shink, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Norwood in the hands of Grecian.
Some would always point towards that being a free kick.
Jeez, he almost drove him into the ground. He almost went underground. Grecian, he's going to have a crack, so this will be a great way to start the quarter. If Norwood can get this through, they've kicked just a one goal today, as have, of course, South Croydon. But nothing like an early one. He's a left footer. He strikes it okay. And it's not going to get there, though. And it's been seen across the boundary line there for a minor score off the hands of, it was Aldous, I think, back there. And the first score of the second quarter is a behind. It's 1-5-11 playing 1-2-8. Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Matty George to bring it in here for South Croydon. His kick comes down the line, trying to find Birch, and it was a good mark taken. So this is the link-up play that South Croydon need. Kick towards the forward line, but it was a little pedestrian there. And so it's going to be swallowed up and taken over the line by Dylan Feltham.
Both sides have decided that the scoreboard side is going to be the area of attack, or preferred area of how they're going to attack their forward 50s this afternoon.
So throw in here. 1.5 minutes gone in this second quarter. Wen taps it down. Trying to get the clearance here is Dixon. He dodges around Dano King, gets a scrappy ball forward. There's a low kick, and South Croydon are going to feast in this as Braden Kilpatrick gets the kick. He went corridor side, and Michael Wen was completely in the way. Took the mark, got it off to Feltham. Tristan Tweedy's the free man. Norwood on this slow play again, but Tristan Tweedy is trying to get around his man. He was tackled, it's play on, he just got the kick away, but South Croydon score the turnover. Mark not taken by Mallison, he hands it off to Wilson. Wilson on goal! Has missed. Let's go to the boundary side with Blake Tennant.
Yeah, g'day. I just spoke to the South Croydon coach before, and he said that they're just lacking a bit more composure. I think we all saw with George that kick. He just needs to don't really look for the corridor, just look for the switch kick, and hopefully they said that they won the quarter as well. So he's very proud.
So Norwood to bring the ball back in as Jared was winding up for the big call there, but it was all in a bit pear-shaped as Atkins gets a kick straight down the middle of the ground. Ball on the deck, won by South Croydon. They get out of the tight stuff, but it's been smothered. Picked up over there by the Wombat. Gets a little short kick. Now it's Birch. Had it for a moment, lost it, but then got it back again. He goes inside 50, but he's overcooked it. Wilson, it was a 2-on-1, so he was up against it anyway, and the ball's gone out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
Both sides really struggling to hit targets here.
So just waiting for the umpire to throw it in. There's Dano King marshals the troops. He's got a real presence about him. He's not a big man, but he's sort of, you can't help but watch the guys. The ball comes out from Norwood, and they'll bring it out, but they're struggling to get it out, but they do well with Wen getting a little handball over the top. Handball over the top again. And that's a little bit to do for Feltham, but he does well. In fact, in the end, he's taken out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in. So run about centre wing. So let's get the feeling it's not going to be a high scoring game. So goals are going to be a bit of a really important today. Premium, that's the word I'm looking for, Bresh. Thank you. As the ball is socket off the ground by Wen. It's trying to get his hands on it. There was Jordan, but he went without it. Now it's in the hands of Bettison. Gets a kick forward. It's about half forward. Mark almost taken there, but it's on the ground. Jordan goes in and puts the body on his opponent, and in the end, coming out over the top is Bennell. Kills the ball on the ground, and we'll have a ball up.
So it's right on top of the First Nations flag there here in this special NAIDOC game. Tapped down there by Wen. It's going to be shocked by Kilpatrick. A handball came out now to Cass. They're linking up well here. Now here's Helleran. How's the delivery inside 50? It didn't come inside 50 anyway. And it was cut off there by Young. Daniel Long for Norwood. Got it off to Kemp. And his kick was, again, cut off by Hardstaff. He was bumped as he kicked it, but it was a decent kick anyway. It's going to come out here. Oh, over the boundary line. It just beats Jones out there.
Matty Jones looked like he was going to gather it, but it just ran away from him at the last moment.
Yeah, and he'd be disappointed because they had numbers around the ball there as well, South Croydon.
He was hoping it would just bounce into his hands, I think. But Wen versus Shink again in the ruck. Shink just, he takes it out of the ruck there. Got the handball to O'Neill. Kick for South Croydon. Wilson didn't contest it. It was Dylan Feltham that did. And he had to lay a tackle in the end. They tipped themselves over. It was him and Dano King. And it'll be a ball up there in South Croydon's forward line. 139 South Croydon. Norwood. 1-5-11.
Umpire Sully's going to ball it up.
Indeed. So Wen there now against Wilson. Wen got the tap down. It's fallen here for Maloney. But boundary line beats them this time. 5.5 minutes gone.
Wen's clearly dominating the ruck, but Norwood really aren't getting much benefit out of his dominance, really.
No. The clearance work was pretty good for Norwood in the first quarter. They just didn't capitalise as much as they'd want to. Getting it out there was Bettison to Dixon. Now to O'Day. O'Day to Jaffa Williams. Norwood linking up well through handball here. We haven't seen this too much. O'Day receives again. Got it off here to Bennell. And his kick inside forward 50 wasn't marked. It just came off hands. Jordan's there to try and rove it off ground level, but he was wrapped up in the defence by the defence of South Croydon. Another ball up. Crashing in here was Shink. Roving it there was Marshall. Norwood really trying to get their hands on the ball here, but Hardstaff took it over. Let's go to the boundary line.
Yeah, just noticing Norwood kicking up that end that we said was the kicking with the wind, I guess you'd say, but it looks like it's holding up down that end as well, so it's not really evident which way the wind or which side the wind is helping.
So Johnson he took it out of the ruck that time. A bit of a push on Bennell, but he's gone back in and got it again. He might be done for holding the ball here. What's the umpire pay?
Oh,
he has definitely.
When you're trying to bust
it was
open,
worth the shot.
You got to try on these days.
So Marshall getting the ball off to Cass. Now Cass goes out wide, and he almost turned that over. They're in a bit of trouble, South Croydon. They've just bitten off a bit more than they can chew here. The pressure from Norwood is good, as Gresham got in there, and in fact it's a free kick, so it's going the way of Norwood.
Yeah, tackled by Gresham on Birch. Got a free kick for a throw there.
Yeah, he pinned the arm. A really good tackle.
So Gresham it is. So he's going to put it a little chip forward. And he finds a target. That was just too easy. And I think that's Tweedy, is it, that's taken that?
No, I think it's Jaffa.
Oh, Jaffa Williams, sorry. It is too. And so Jaffa Williams. I just love that name. I could say it all day. Yaron Jaffa Williams. Best name in the comp. So the former Baldwin man. is going to go back and line up and try and kick Norwood's second of the day and extend their lead. Very kickable, but as we've said,
trying to get to the centre of the square here. He kicks this.
And so the breeze is a factor. There's the kick on its way. How is it looking? It's there, I think. Yes, it is. So Yaron Jaffa Williams gets his first of the day. And it's goals, as we say, going to be a bit of a premium today. So it's the second of the day for the Norsemen, and they lead 2-5-17 to 139 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And we've played 8 minutes in the second term.
We've got some scores over with Ryan Long.
Just an update at the LSO. Montrose 38 to Lilydale 20. The Jets back in front 40 to 21. And North Ringwood holding a lead over the Tigers by 8 points in that second quarter.
Yeah, with the amount of scoring shots that Heathmont had in that first quarter, it was hard to see them not get back into the lead there. As we return here to Cheong Park, the tap down came and the clearance will be for Norwood. If he's able to withstand the pressure there, was Jordan. He got the handball off to O'Day, and his kick inside forward 50 just eludes Yaron Jaffa Williams. Gretchen is there to try and scoop it up. Just got the handball away, but it had come unstuck as George got in the way. And now, Bichetti, he got in the way there, and it was O'Day who was free. Heath had the space, and now he has the goal. Good stuff there by Liam O'Day, and that's Norwood's third on the board for the day.
Yeah, nice running pressure there. Keep it trapped in their forward line, find the spare player and get the goal.
So it was a horrible mix-up. Someone threw a terrible hand pass here, which got turned over, but that's, as you say, a result of the pressure.
Well, they probably should have got an easier goal there about 5 seconds earlier. They fluffed their lines, but they managed to recover.
So the Norsemen have certainly taken control as we go boundary side with Blake.
Yeah, just another good goal there by Liam O'Day. Just a quick one as well. That scoreboard pressure could be very handy for Norwood, just judging by with the wind going down Norwood's end at the moment.
So Dano King, he put his head down there. What's the umpire going to pay here?
Anything that involves the head, you're going to get a free kick.
So he gives it off, and here they come, the South Croydon side. They could really do with the next goal as the kick is a little bit too hot over the back into the hands of the Norsemen. Here they go again off half back. Little ball into the middle of the ground to no one in particular. Wilson does well, picks it up, wheels around, puts a little kick. In fact, it wasn't Wilson. I think it might have been McEwen as the ball goes inside 50 again. Here's Tweedy, and that's out on the full.
Bit stiff there.
Yeah, he was a bit unlucky, but he couldn't do much else, and he's put it out on the full, so free kick.
You can see the humour of it.
So it's going to be Wilson who's going to take the free kick, and he will pump it inside 50, looking for a target, which they don't necessarily have today, South Croydon. That's easily cut off. That's poor play, intercepted there by Bichetti, and here they come again.
So Bichetti found the man on the outer side. This is going to be Dylan Atkins. Is he going to find the handball off? He does. He finds the option there. And a kick down the line finds Yaron Jaffa Williams. Yaron Jaffa Williams hands the ball over to the running man. The Norsemen press forward once again. They've done this well. It was a good stuff there by Bennell. Got the tap along. O'Day once again. He's going to try and find the handball option there to Gretchen. Turns around onto the left. It's a snap towards goal. Oh! Has he kicked it? Oh, he has! Something out of nothing there from Michael Gretchen.
That has to be Tobin
Brothers' goal of the day.
Certainly is.
Great minds there. What a goal to spin
Mind you, in
around.
fairness, we haven't had much to...
Oh, look, a few goals there, but that takes
easily
cake
the best.
at the moment.
Yeah.
3 goals in 5 minutes for Norwood. It's opened the game up here. South Croydon are in a bit of trouble here. They're struggling to get the ball inside 50 and hit a target now.
Those targets, Wilson's sort of turnover kick there right in front of the coach, which will never keep Marcus happy. But, and then down the other end and a goal.
Yep, it's been a real boost since quarter time. Not sure what Marty said to the boys, but it's really fired them up as the ball sends it, the umpire sends it high, sorry. Now it's been socketed forward, and they've got it again, the Norsemen. Little handball out there from Dixon out wide, and they'll come forward again. Little chip down the line, gets over the top, nicely taken there by Wen. Geez, he's a monster as he gives a handball off to Dixon. Dixon's going to go inside 50. Where are the targets? Nowhere in particular. Hardstaff was there, and he's happy just to see it over the boundary.
Free kick.
In fact, a free kick going the way of the Norsemen. There's a few players with arms out, and it's a bit confusing. We don't know what's going on.
I think it's a free kick there to Hardstaff.
Hardstaff, it is, yeah. I was going to say there's players waving their arms around, and in the end it is a free kick to Hardstaff.
So his kick, once again down the line, Akaruru was the target. It was been punched down by Wen. Wen went to ground level. South Croydon will come up with it, however. Over to O'Neill and over the boundary line.
I know this is an understatement, but at the moment, South Croydon need the next goal, I feel.
Absolutely.
That they do, but they haven't kicked it since the 19th minute of the first quarter is when they kicked that goal. So they struggled to find it when they got their first one, but yeah, haven't been able to match it.
It really will be one against play, and they need to take their opportunities when they get them, South Croydon.
Free kick.
This is not one of those opportunities. As, you said it right there, Scott. It's free kick now to Wen inside forward 50. I think that was O'Day. His kick was nearly intercepted. It was dropped, however, by South Croydon. He was able to recover it, get the kick outside a defensive 50. It's all Bulldogs over here. They have the numbers, but do they have the composure? I'm not sure about that. Callie gets it off to Cox. Now here's a clean set of hands and a kick as well down to McKeon. McKeon inside forward 50. This is where they've broken down here. The Bulldogs. Birch is going to have to tap it along at ground level. He's going to be challenged here by Holmes. He picks it up. Onto the left. And he's missed.
It's the second time Jared was going to have the goal of the day.
But I was more disappointed there for the Bulldogs than I was for myself.
It was brilliant play there, wasn't it? So a bit of a letdown, but nonetheless, so Atkins, they're coming under a little bit of pressure for the first time in a while, because it's been pretty much all the Norsemen in recent times. And they'll take it out off half back at a 25-metre penalty, so some indiscipline. And Feltham's going to take it forward up the ground. So.
Well, he's had plenty of the ball, Feltham, and no one's really made him accountable.
No, he's been one of the best players on the ground. Atkins gets it down the line. There's Big Wen, got it on the second grab. It's getting a bit darker out here at Cheong Park, and the breeze is getting up as well. Let's hope the rain does stay away, though, as South Croydon are in a bit of trouble. They've turned it. Look at all the Norsemen. They've just outnumbering them around the contest. As Jordan gets it off, there's a little handball over the top, and this will be a goal. No problems at all. Great Potts it is. He got it, but great work from Grecian. In fact,
A conference between the two umpires here. There's exasperation spreads across Potts' face.
You can see the disbelief in the Norsemen. They thought it was a goal.
What's happened to you?
Touched?
Let's have a look and
That's
see.
it's got
to be a goal.
He can't be touched.
How's that?
He's paid it touched. That's extraordinary. So I don't know what.
How can that be touched?
Can we can't get another replay of that up. Can we? No.
So no, that's it. We move.
Okay.
And they've turned it over. So here come the Norsemen again. A little chip back inside. Mark is taken there by OD.
I tried.
And he will go back and.
It must have been a call from one of the umpires. It would have to have been a call to override the so that the goal umpire knew what was happening.
So a little handball off to the big man and Atkins, and he unloads. How's this one looking? So it's going to come up a bit short, and it's touched through for a minor score. That's definitely touched. And the score advances by 1 point. So 4-7-31 to 1-4-10, and we've had 15 gone on the second turn.
I don't need it.
It was replay number 16, if you want to know for later on, if you want to have a look at it.
Come back to it. Bit of a peek behind the curtain there from Lee Green. I love it. Thank you. On the kick out there, Feltham was able to take possession of the ball, but he was wrapped up. So we'll get a ball up here, just outside of Norwood's forward line. Diving stuff there, but Dano King was able to maintain possession of the ball, get it back at ground level. Gretchen's desperate here. Got the kick away, only just. In goes Wall. He got smashed into. Ooh. He lays the tackle there on Callie. Good body work there by Josh Wall. But it's just a ball up. He's not rewarded for it. Here we go again. Wen didn't get the tap down. It was read, though, by O'Day. He's wrapped up by Kilpatrick. A standing tackle. Bit of an embrace. Bit of a laugh and a hug. And Kilpatrick will take the free kick.
Unfortunately, there was no Liverpool kiss, though.
No. Perhaps fortunately there. I think Braden Kilpatrick... Not a malicious man by any stretch of the imagination. His kick came down to Jaden Cass, who took the mark. It's a bit of a slow play here for the Bulldogs. Probably not what they're wanting right now. They were really trying to find the corridor in the first quarter, and
we got no one to kick it to.
Yeah, that sort of play has dried up. Matt George was the target here, just a little bit inside there. It came off his hands, but fortunately for the Bulldogs, it came down to Cox. Now it's Jones inside forward 50. Target down there was Kennedy.
That's a mark. Surely that's a mark.
There's got to be a mark there to Wen. Nothing doing, says the umpire. And we'll get a ball up here. Just over 17 minutes gone in the first quarter. Bulldogs looking for their second goal. Wen was the only one to contest the ruck there. He just took it out, gave it to Holmes, now to Gretchen. Norwood will push forward once again. Great mark taken by Potts.
They're on here.
And they really are on as Yaron Jaffa-Williams in space. Three of them in space, really.
Oh, they can
One of them
raffle
is
it.
Dixon. The other is Yaron Jaffa-Williams. Easy goal there to the former Baldwin man. Easy as you like. The fifth one for Norwood. And they push further ahead. They're up by 27 now.
Once they get over that sort of halfway mark, the running pressure that Norwood are applying in their forward line is amazing, and South Croydon need to man them up because they had 4 there. 4.
Let's go down to the boundary with Blake.
Yeah, you're completely right there, Scotty. This as well. Just the end-to-end work. They're just running way much better than South Croydon at the moment. And I don't know if you guys saw, but there was about 4 players in Norwood right open. So I don't know if South Croydon are manning up. Marcus will definitely have his work cut out, that's for sure.
He's got a bit to do, certainly at the halftime address, as Wen gets his 900th hit out of the first quarter. Gets a little handball off there to Grecian. Out wide it goes. Good mark taken there.
And the other thing that will anger Marcus Pizzaglo was the fact that there was no contest in the ruck down in the back in the back 50. Wen's just taken it out.
He's taken it out
and created the goal.
Really poor communication on the Bulldogs' part there, I think.
So Jamie Bennell is going to line up.
They're in big trouble here if at the moment South Croydon. If they score another goal here,
so Bennell from outside the arc, he's made pretty good contact, but it's going to come up a little bit short. Still there though. It's been in the goal square. They'll be doing. In fact, it's the umpire's coming on. He's paid a free kick, has he?
Yeah, head high.
Head high. So they were lucky to get out of that, and it means that South Croydon are going to be able to get out of it. Little short kick finds Atkins, and they'll rebound again off half back.
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say it was Kemp that gave away the free kick. Sorry, Brush.
I don't think I want to be in the rooms at half time when Marcus gives his speech.
Oh, so Aldous nearly took the mark there from the exit from defensive 50. Might have drawn the free kick or got paid the mark. I think it was both of them were perhaps legitimately there. And once again, just the running game of South Croydon has been completely slowed up, completely stifled. So they're just going to have to kick it down the line again, and it's all Norwood once more as Atkins takes the mark, kicks it off, and this is Hudson, Blair Hudson. Took the mark despite the protests of Willis. Now Blair Hudson searching for
players
options
on in the centre
50.
as well.
Yeah, he
does.
does.
Sorry there, Jared.
No, that's okay, Scott. It's definitely a good point, but he ignores those. Goes inside forward 50. Bennell was nearly there. Good stuff there by Gretchen. Got it off, and now Potts. Dixon trying to run his way through. Got tackled. South Croydon turned the ball over. George kicks it outside of defensive 50. Good mark there by Callie on the outer side. Now they're just trying to find some run here. Jones, he just kicked it into the man just in front of him there. Ball spills out to Wen. His kick, well, he went the corridor side, but it was cut off there. So I think this is Wilson. Kicks it inside forward 50. Kicks it perhaps to the smallest man down there, Mallison, but he was actually able to find the ball at ground level. Got it to Helleran. Helleran now gets the handball off to Kennedy. McKeon's in huge trouble here as he was tackled, and the umpire has called a sling free kick there against James Feltham. So a chance here for Callan McKeon. He's too far out to score, I would imagine.
No, I think you're right. He'll need to try and find a pass inside.
Go the Torp.
I'd love to. Well, it could be the all or nothing here for McKeon. I'd say he's probably setting it up to the top of the goal square based on this. That's exactly what he does. Kennedy is there. Sorry, Wilson it was. Oh, a kick out on the full there from the spilt mark by Norwood.
They are under so much pressure. It's unbelievable.
So it's going to be another free kick here over to South Croydon, and I think it's going to go to Mallison. Let's quickly check the score centre with Ryan.
Just quickly, first update from Vermont, 9-2-56. Doncaster East, 3-26.
Ooh, high-scoring game there. So Robert Mallison. He's got the kicker goal. It's a huge angle to negotiate.
For a left footer, this is the impossible's dream too.
I would be very impressed if he kicks this. Oh, he's just pushing it across the face and it hits the post. It was such a good effort there by Robert Mallison.
It's the second time he's hit the post.
With a kick that good, he was entitled to take it. Let's go to the score centre with Paul, though.
The inside 50s this quarter are 13-9 in favour of Norwood, and the clearances are 8-3 in favour of Norwood.
So Atkins with the kick in out towards the far side and just in front of the scoreboard, in fact. And the ball's gone out of bounds. So what will there be said to this South Croydon side at half time? I probably wouldn't want to be in the rooms.
No, I wouldn't.
Marcus Pizzaglo, he's known for his fairly fiery addresses. and his side is down by 26 points. It was a close first quarter, but not so in the second, as Wen wrestles his way to the front of the contest, having a colossal game in the hands there for a moment of O'Neill, but it's bouncing around towards the boundary, and eventually it's across.
I actually can't believe the difference between the South Croydon side that I watched in round 2 compared to today. It's chalk and cheese.
Yeah. And a Norwood side who hasn't exactly set the world on fire, but boy, they've looked good in this second quarter. They've played superbly.
But it's only 4 goals, so coming to half time, they've got some things to change, but it's not out of reach.
It's not out of reach, but they're going to need a big third quarter, South Croydon.
They just have the game so much on their terms. As Wen just bounces his man out of the way, gets a little kick forward. It's going to fall there for the Norseman over towards the far side. They wheel around, the kick forward into the Benell it was. He got the kick to the hot spot. Up they fly. There's plenty of defenders back. It's knocked back towards goal. This is dangerous. Might be a goal. Rhett Jordan's there. But in the end, they managed to scramble it across, and it's through for a minor score. Well done there by Aldous it was, going back and saving the day. One more to the score. We've had 23 and a half gone. It's 5-8-38 to 1-5-11 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Norwood small forwards are causing the South Croydon backline real major headaches.
So the kick in for South Croydon comes off hands, but it's come to Jones here, lifts the ball aloft and gets the handball away. Kilpatrick upended. Gretchen takes advantage of that, kicks it inside forward mark. 50, and Daniel Potts takes a really good diving mark.
It's just that pressure that Norwood around the ground, the tackles here. This tackle on Braden, big tackle, good turnover, and then into the forward line for a shot at goal.
But there's no point to South Croydon by complaining there, right, about his own player. He actually let Potts get 5 yards in front of him and didn't take any notice.
Daniel Potts arguably kicked a goal before, taken from him by the umpire in a touch decision. Bit of an angle to negotiate, but it's on line here. Another goal to Norwood.
All right, well, we're going with a few more goals, so that they have to fight back.
So Daniel Potts takes back what was taken from him earlier. His teammates celebrate, and Norwood go to 6-8-44. South Croydon 1-5-11.
So this could be a match-winning lead here for Norwood.
Yeah, look, another goal. So, yeah, 5 goals going to half-time. But it's just, they've been really impressive, Norwood. Just the tackling pressure, once they get up forward, finding the hands, using those sort of smaller forwards, and just the pace of them. It's been absolutely killing South Croydon.
So Wen gets it out of the middle. I know it's only 5 goals, but it feels like 10 the way the game is going in terms of the flow of the game. As the tackle is made in the middle of the ground, ball bouncing around, and Rhett Jordan comes in and lays the tackle.
And put it this way, big Michael Wen has really upped the ante in the second quarter. He is dominating in the ruck.
Yeah, he's having it his own way as we speak of the devil, because he gets the next hit out as well. Knocks it down into the tight stuff, and the umpire comes in and says we'll have another ball up. So I tell you what we could do without is this disco that's playing above us here. It's really starting to annoy me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Someone's playing music up above, and I'm going to go and have a word to them. As Jones gets a little handball, and now he gets a little kick down the line. Mark, I think that's been taken. Wilson it was. The umpire says that was good enough for me. Chip back inside, finds O'Neill. O'Neill goes long, trying to find a target. Bit of a 2-on-1. Wilson was there, but he couldn't get hands on it. As the ball falls for the Norwood side, they get it out wide, and here's a chance now to rebound with OD. Goes down the line, trying to hit a target, and
I reckon that might be downfield, is it?
The whistle went. I thought I heard a whistle before he took the mark, but nonetheless, Davy's playing advantage.
That wind on the far side. Have a look at the trees out there.
Yep. South Croydon go long, gets over the hand of Basito on the ground again, and here's the Norseman bringing it out again on even 20, I think. Gets a kick into the middle of the ground. Mark taken there. Nice work by Maloney.
So Maloney will just chip it a little bit wider there. Norseman building once more through Gretchen, and Yaron Jaffa-Williams kicks it inside forward 50. There's a clear target down there. It's Potts once again, but it was just spoiled over the line. Well done by Willis.
Jaffa-Williams had a brilliant second quarter. Called his name a heap, and obviously had a couple of goals there as well.
He's really come to life, hasn't he? And it's going to be Willis to kick it in here for South Croydon. Goes for a bit of a jog. Down it goes towards O'Neill. Getting in his way, however, was Dixon. And it's just gone over the boundary line there.
3-on-1 there for Norwood. Again, South Croydon, they just need to find better options.
They just can't forget they can't get the numbers around the contest, and then when they do, their disposal and the way is deplorable.
Ineffective.
Let's go boundary side with Blake Tennant.
Just a bit of a weather update. There's a little bit of drizzle around at the moment, so just wanted to let you guys know.
It's going to make things more difficult for South Croydon. Are they not working hard enough for South Croydon? Is that the issue without the players at the contest?
Oh, I just don't think that they're just not finding the man, and they're just not using it. And you've got this where they're going to hand it over and find the space.
So as you say, the Norsemen chaining up through handballs. Kemp and Holmes here. Holmes just wasn't clean enough there, got tackled over, laying the pressure and the tackles there. South Croydon hard staff, and I think Halloran was in there as well. As we're ticking towards half-time, Shink nearly tapped it down. Yaron Jaffa-Williams at ground level, had to lay the tackle there on Halloran. Halloran just got it away, but swinging around and spinning in that tackle was Kilpatrick was the one laying it, and it was on O'Day. Another ball up there at the corner of the square.
Kim's done some good things in this quarter too for the Norsemen.
Yeah, he's been very lively. Taking it out from the clearance there was Dixon. Good kick down the line, and a great lead up there by James Feltham. Takes the mark.
And that's the difference as well. The lead up by Norwood compared to South Croydon, poles apart.
So to really hammer home the advantage before half-time, James Feltham.
The siren can't come quick enough for South Croydon.
You're right there, Scott.
If they get this one, they might have to declare.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Different sport, unfortunately, for South Croydon. So Feltham, James, comes in. He's going to be kicking from, I'd say, about 35 to 40 out. Siren goes for half-time.
Got it.
Norwood have pressed home their advantage once again. They move to 7-9-51. South Croydon 1-5-11. James Feltham gets his first goal of the day. And we'll go into half-time here as Besto reads off the goal kickers for both teams.
Yaron Jaffa-Williams had a superb quarter. He's kicked 2 goals. O'D, Feltham, Grecian and Potts have all got goals, as has Jordan. And for South Croydon, they just have the, I think I've just got the only goal kicker for them being Kelly. But they're in a fair bit of strife, South Croydon. They've got a lot to do in the second term and a 40-point margin at half-time. So we'll come back after the break. We'll wrap up all the action from the first half with our team to bring in the half-time show. And then we'll bring you all the action from Cheong Park with the second half coming up next.
Has Sarah...
$1 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
It's
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to the Eastland Match of the Round out here at Cheong Park. It is NAIDOC round, and what a performance from Norwood in the first half. 7-9-51 to South Croydon, 1-5-11 to take a 40-point lead into the half-time break. I'm Ryan Long, Media Manager of the Eastern Football Netball League, joined by Dylan Smith and Blake Tennant. Boys who have been in the boundary, how have you seen it? It's just been a very one-sided contest so far.
Yeah, especially in that second quarter. I thought in the first quarter it was a bit of cat and mouse. Both teams were trying to feel out the game. That slow ball movement for both teams, even Norwood, who have dominated in the second. But after the quarter-time break, Norwood started to come out the front of the stoppage, win that clearance battle, and the small forwards started to dominate, and it was kind of season slipping away for South Croydon, really.
Yeah, it is, and there's also another game out at Edwin Flack Reserve, which will have now ramifications on the loser of this game if it's South Croydon, by the way it's going. We'll talk about that later, but just Blake, you mentioned before the amount of space they have in their forward 50. I was watching up on top of the van at one stage, and there was 3 Norwood players ahead of the ball, not a South Croydon player in sight, and they pretty much had 3 players to raffle it off to. I think Yaron Jaffa-Williams finished it. There's too many times that happens, and they just seem to be out of position, and South Croydon want the ball. Norwood want the ball a bit more than South Croydon.
Yeah, you're completely right there. What I'm just seeing is I'm just seeing a lot more chain of handballs. I'm seeing Norwood, buddy, running off the half back. Like all their half backers are just running and running and running, where South Croydon are just lacking on that. They're lacking a bit of composure to South Croydon, and Norwood are just hurting them everywhere this quarter. I think, looking here, I think it was a 6-goal to 3 behind quarter. So it just shows where Norwood are at the moment. Like, yes, South Croydon do have injuries, but you can't use that as an excuse, really.
Yeah.
The game that he's on today, and it's a special occasion round as well. And it's just been all Norwood. I've just never seen that much running to get free in Premier Division.
Well, it's a good point, Dylan. Despite all the injuries that they do have, that sort of quarter, Marcus Pizzaglia will be tearing paint off the wall after that, because they just didn't look like it at all. And the clearance work by Norwood, it's been a killer in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And when Croydon do get their hands on the ball, it's so slow. They can't seem to decide whether they want to go fast or slow. They're looking for that corridor kick to try a bit of boldness, but they push all their numbers up the field with that slow ball movement, and then they're getting hit, and like you said, with the space inside forward 50. I think that's Croydon pushing up really high and then not being able to get back in time to stop that sort of tsunami of Norwood. Yeah,
it's a good point, and it's a very risky sort of way to play the game if it's going to hurt you coming back the other way. And just even a couple of times there was a drop mark in their back half. There was no one around that South Croydon player, but a bit of perceived pressure. So clearly at ground level they are a bit aware of that, Blake, and it's starting to play probably a bit on their minds.
Yeah, 100%. I think everything we're saying is that they're just cleaner. There's a lot more dare with Norwood at the moment. And I think what I'm gathering with South Croydon is at the moment is that I don't know if the word scared is. I think that's maybe the word. They're just scared of what Norwood are going to bring to them when they have that kick. We saw it back there with George, how he just tried to look for the corridor, and it was just all Norwood. So I don't know if the word scared is. There's
definitely a timid nature to the way they're playing, but it's also they're playing scared, and then they don't know what to do, so they try to bite off that really difficult kick, and it's almost brainless.
Just some scores around the grounds we'll touch on here at half-time. Park Orchards lead Berwick by 7 points. Noble Park leading Blackburn 22-8 behinds. Roval 13-9-87 to Doncaster 1-6-12. Out at Vermont Recreation Reserve, we said the Eagles with a 30-point lead at half-time. A little bit of a surprise there. South Belgrave 33-point lead over Beaconsfield. Wanturna South 11-point lead over Croydon there at half-time. Moolbuck with 33 points up at quarter time over Bayswater, waiting on an update there. North Ringwood lead the Tigers by a point. Montrose in front of Lilydale quite comfortably in Division 2. Heathmont back to a point now, 40-39 over Knox. Templestowe 54 to the Basin 18. Baronia 37 to East Burwood 14 there at half time. Jumping into Division 3, the biggest surprise here, Warrandyte 8-250 to Furtry Gully 5-3-33. Oakley District with a 5-point lead over Whitehorse. Donvale 57 to Sylvan 15, doing it comfortably. Coldstream 46 to Fair Park 19. A little bit of surprise there to see them winning so comfortably there at half time. In Division 4, Scoresby 7-3-45 to Nuttawading 10 behind. So have not kicked a goal. And Churnside Park in front against Kilsyth at Pinks Reserve, 4-1 to 3-2. So very interesting there. Before we go to our ad break, before the team returns for the third quarter, can you make a case for South Croydon very quickly? 40 points down. We've seen funny things happen. I say that all the time when a side's 40 points down, but can you see it?
Well, we do. Like we all said South Croydon at the beginning of the game, so we know that they can, at their best, match it with these teams. We've talked about the outs, but they definitely can match it. I think it sounds really boring, but I think the thing that they have to do is just get their intensity into the game.
No, I just can't. I'm really,
very simple. No.
I'm sorry. I just can't see him. That just Norwood's working harder and faster.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say my missus, who was listening at home, did tip Norwood at the start of the game. I think everyone else has gone South Croydon, so shout out to Jess. But that is our half-time here at Cheon Park. Norwood 7-9-51, South Croydon 1-5-11. We'll be back for the third quarter shortly.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home, at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
There's no mystery about our pricing. It is clearly displayed on our website and our app. We have staff standing by 24 hours a day, every day of the year to assist you in your absolute time of need.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
There are only 3 things that should be flushed down your toilet: pee, poo and paper. Some wet wipes and antibacterial wipes say that you can flush them, but you can't. They clog up the toilet and pipes, causing expensive blockages. Save yourself a truckload of trouble. Put your wet wipes in the bin. To learn more, head to the Yarra Valley Water website, yvw.com.au/wet-wipes.
Hi, Dylan Dow from the Baronia Football Netball Club here. When I need to grab a quick coffee or a bite to eat, I'm popping into Eastland. Eastland's more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been a major partner of the EFNL since 2018. Cheers, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season, bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Cheong Park. It is NAIDOC round, of course. Some exciting activities out here today, particularly with the smoking ceremony, if you will. I've been fortunate enough to catch that at the start of the game. But it's really been one-way traffic in that second quarter. Interesting first quarter, very low scoring, but in that last term it was all the Norsemen, and they've kicked away to have a very handy lead. It's 7-9-51 to 1-5-11, and Brash 40-point margin. You don't want to sort of be the kiss of death, but it's really hard to see South Croydon coming back.
Well, to be quite honest with you, Brett, I actually didn't see that quarter coming because the way the first quarter played out, I thought we were going to be having a 0-0 draw at one stage. But all of a sudden, Norwood just clicked up another gear and they started to run even harder, and Big Wen started to take more control of the ruck. Dylan Feltham off that back line was basically not being accounted for, and he was allowed to run amok, but it was the midfield led by Maloney and Greach and that started to really get the ball running. And the fact that little mosquito fleet of Norwoods in that forward 50, they just started to run amok and just found space.
Jeffer Williams was particularly prominent, kicked a couple of goals, and he looked dangerous every time he got the ball, didn't he?
I think it's impressive that on those small forwards, Norwood, their main key targets, Red Jordan and Hugh Johnson, they've only kicked one goal between them.
And then needed anyone else.
Exactly.
And the thing is, for Marcus at half time, it almost seems like for him it would have been, we have to go back to the basics and play man-on-man football. But unfortunately, in this day and age, they're going to have to take the ball between the horns because to get back in this contest, they've got to kick 2 or 3 goals quickly. And very, very smartly, and try and hold Norwood, because Norwood will be coming home with that breeze again. And if they don't make any inroads now, South Croydon, they won't for the rest of the afternoon.
And they've got to work out this centre clearance as well in the ruck contest. They're getting dominated in the ruck, South Croydon, and they've probably just been lucky that Norwood haven't found it.
Let's get underway for the third term. Here's Jared Beelands.
So up in the ruck there, when he's been dominating all game. Nearly took the clearance there, but Kilpatrick, well, his kick was smothered. He goes again, kicks it inside forward 50, and Kennedy just tries to take the mark, worried out of it there. Takes it though, checks out on the right. Oh, this could be a great opener for South Croydon, but it faded and bounces over the boundary line. Probably better than a point there for South Croydon.
But for Norwood in the second quarter, that would have rolled the other way and gone through.
Bouncing.
So back into play here. Opening stages of the third quarter. When going up against, that's Wilson in the ruck now for South Croydon. Trying to take it out was Mallison. He was wrapped up. Another ball up. Wet conditions now starting to prevail. It might make things very difficult, especially if South Croydon were to try and peg this margin back. Maloney tried to take it out of the clearance. It's now for Feltham. Now to Gritchen. And they're linking up well here. That was Dixon. Got the kick down towards Hugh Johnson. He spilt the mark, and it's going to go over the boundary line. Another throw-in, another stoppage to start this third quarter.
And Norwood finding hands in the back line as well as the forward line. So, again, something has to give and something has to change for South Croydon, just to apply that pressure, keep it trapped in, keep the pressure on and find this first goal.
Yeah, the midfielder really needs to start applying a bit more of that pressure there, a bit more two-way running. And another tackle there on Helleran, wraps it up. Wen taps it down from this stoppage. Ball is now in dispute. Now a handball there came out for Norwood. They're sharing it around here. Yaron Jaffa-Williams, and it's come back there to Wall. Kick inside forward 50. Potts was the target, punched away from him by Charlton. And we'll get a ball in Norwood's forward line.
So back where it's been for a large part of the game, and Norwood's attacking end. Need to see some of these experienced players. Matt Jones tried to spark a bit of a comeback for South Croydon. 1 or 2 of the likes of him. Also Mellonton, the likes of King. They're the ones that need to sort of lead from the front as the ball goes to ground. Cass has got his hands on it. He's taken in a tackle. Bennell it was, and that's holding the ball. In fact, it was Cass, I think, actually, who got done there.
There was no need for Jaffa-Williams to get involved in that little contest. He knew he got caught. No point rubbing it in.
Just poor game awareness. Like he seemed to think he had way more time than he did, and as soon as he took the ball, he got overwhelmed. And this is the disastrous start that they would not want if this goes through.
No.
So Jamie Bennell, very deliberate approach.
And those boots look great in person. You spoke about them pre-game, but geez, they look
They do. They're just
so good.
They do. They match the uniform.
So here he comes, Jamie Bennell, and that's beautiful. Dani puts it through, and that's a disaster for South Croydon. We talked about if maybe the first couple of goals went the way of the Norsemen, it could just about put this game to sleep. And that's the first of the third quarter, and it's 8-9-57 playing 1-5-11 Bendigo Bank scoreboard. We've had 3 minutes in this third term.
Norwood obviously getting around Jamie Bennell here. Definitely an important figure on a week like this.
There comes a time in a player's psyche where there's such a thing as the point of no return. Is South Croydon at that have they arrived at that moment, Scott?
It's getting close. I won't say it because we're only 3 minutes and 30 into this third quarter. So let's see where this goes.
So Wen dominating in the ruck. I just found space where there was none that time. Got the kick inside forward 50, relieving mark for South Croydon, taken by Willis. He's done a couple of good things today, Willis. That kick, pretty neutral. Over to Halloran. Halloran kicking it outside of defence 50. Found the spare man over there. And South Croydon trying to push forward once again. I think that was Hardstaff. Got it over to Shink, the big man. Very distinctive. Tom Shink, of course, not playing today. Big out there for South Croydon, travelling. So the kick down the ground for South Croydon. Good contest work there. Norwood were a little indifferent in that play. Came to Aldous, now back to Shink. Is he going to take it on himself? Gives him the step. Didn't really get a clear kick away. Kilpatrick was the target. In comes Callie to try and clean up a bit of a mess there. But it's just gone over the boundary line. 4.5 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
I think that summarises their day so far, South Croydon. They just cannot hit a target in their forward 50.
Nope.
Norwood put them under quite a bit of pressure in that situation. Callie took the clearance, snapped around the body, but it's been swallowed up there by Tristan Tweedy.
So Tweedy it is, gets a handball, a bit of a dangerous one out to Feltham. He put him under enormous pressure, and the tackle comes in there from Aldous. That wasn't a great handball.
Tweedy has made some poor decisions this game. He's really been lucky that the opposition hasn't sort of, responded. But yeah, doesn't mean his best game, I would say.
No, he's usually a lot. But I remember we get a game last year and he got best on. I can't remember who it was. He was absolutely superb. But today hasn't been one of his best. As Norwood get it out for the moment. Probably going to come back there. Plenty of players around the footy. Which way is it going to go? Birch is in there, but he can't get to it. And it's taken by one of the Norwood players. I think that might
nearly
be
knocked himself
Kemp.
out there.
And his head went back as the umpire throws it up. Looking resplendent in their Indigenous shirts to the umpires.
Oh, you're gone there.
Big tackle, and that's it. Gonski.
The smallest player on the ground just took down the biggest.
So Halloran it was, he made the tackle, and he's got a free kick. So here's a chance for South Croydon to strike back. And this music is still annoying me coming from up the top as it comes inside to the hot spot, but easily mark taken there by Feltham, and they'll get it out to Tweedy, and here they come again off half-back, the Norseman.
Tristan Tweedy takes a bounce, takes them on, got the handball away. Not great stuff there by Tweedy. Wilson tackled him, looked for the free kick. Feltham was able to bury his way in, got tackled as well. So Norwood struggling a little bit in that passage of play to get it out of their defensive 50.
So
bit more pressure.
Tweedy there again.
Oh, I know.
He took it on. I like the take on.
Yeah.
Now he goes into the ruck.
Into the ruck, yeah, to try and make up for things. Kemp, he was tackled down. Thought I was without it by Kilpatrick. And yeah, Kemp will take the free kick. I don't think Kilpatrick knew that he disposed of the ball there. So for an honest mistake there. Here's Tweedy again, getting a lot of it in this third quarter.
What's he going to do this time?
Well, he has a shocking handball to the man running past. It was Dixon. Don't think he was prepared for it. Dixon makes up for it. Gretchen dropped the mark. Pressure coming there for South Croydon as Shink now was wrapped up.
I apologise, Tristan. I love your work.
And he had just handed it off to Matty George, who was tackled, nearly got holding the ball. Back to Shink, now to Cass. Inside forward 50 for South Croydon. Wen sets himself. Came off his hands. Kennedy just disposed of his opponent. And the handball finds George. The defender snaps for goal. Yeah, kicked it like a defender, and it'll just be the 1 point.
I tell you what, he's lucky we don't have subs in the EFL because Tristan Tweedy would be getting the tap on the shoulder, I think. He has not had a great day, but nonetheless, as we go to the score centre with Ryan.
Just an update out at Warrandyte Reserve. Fentree Gully back in front by 3 points, and in Division 4, it is still Churnside Park leading Kilsyth by 5 points.
Out towards the wing, Jordan was there, and it's off hands, and it's going to come back inside 50, so who's that to?
Gee, could the Oracle strike again with that Churnside result?
Oh, who knows?
My God.
So it's out on the full, so it's going to be a free kick to the Norsemen as they chip it to the top of the arc. Ball gets out the back, nicely done there by Grecian, and it's been turned over though. Good work by Kilpatrick. Ball on the ground, spinning away was Dixon. Good work from him, and they get it out of the defensive arc for the moment. Oh, really good mark taken there. Has he paid it? Yes, he has.
Have you noticed that every time Norwood make a mistake, they're not getting punished, but when South Croydon make one,
yep.
And that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't matter if they're making the mistakes. They're just
getting away with it.
Correct.
So long kick down the line. Ball finishes up on the deck as Jaffa Williams gets a handball off. It's a bit untidy this early stages of this term. Now the little kick back inside off the boot of O'Neill. South Croydon in possession. Can they keep it for a length of time? Kilpatrick now with the footy.
this is where their problem is. They've got no one to
kick to. He's looking around, but there's just no options. That would barely have been 15. That was probably about 12, and probably if that, as Jones takes it.
They can't find anything else.
So Jones spares it inside 50, but look at all the Norwood defenders here, defence here. Tweedy was there. Ball comes out now into the hands of O'Neill, and they've worked it out again. Here's Jaffa Williams. It'll handball out, and nicely worked there by OD, and gets it back, and they'll just decide to go forward and set it up, and they'll come out of defence.
Pick a player.
Look at them. They're out numbers everywhere.
Yeah, they're out in space in every.
It's like they've got 25 players on the field.
So Atkins' kick now comes down to Jordan. He just spilt it. The kick was overcooked a little bit, to be fair to him. Now off the deck there from South Croydon. What can they make of this? Liam Cox inside forward 50. There's a wrestle on one-on-one situation, but it was the Norwood spares that came across. Dixon couldn't quite take the mark. It's now come to Aldous. He gets a little chipping ball out to Wilson, but Norwood are going to feast on this because South Croydon couldn't retain possession whatsoever. Nearly an intercept mark taken by Charlton. It's come to Akaruru. Got the handball away there to the Crummer and Halloran. His kick found a spare man wide. It was McKeon. McKeon now to Cox. Cox inside forward 50, and now they finally found a target, and it was Sam Kelly, their lone goal scorer for the day. And he's going to kick from, I would say, maybe 40 out. Bit of an angle to navigate.
Jeez, how hard did they make that, though?
Oh, they did.
It's like watching people, the dentist extracting teeth.
And that's it. They just need to find these targets.
This is an opportunity they need to take. And Sam Kelly, he's kicked the one goal for the game. He's going to have to hook it back to the left if he's to kick this one, and he's done just that. Something for the South Croydon crowd here at Cheong Park to cheer about.
Yeah, well, Sam Kelly, 2 goals, 1 out of 2 goals, 6.
Yeah, and that's
a good return for the afternoon, isn't it?
Not bad, but that's the thing, isn't it? They've only got those 2 scoring options. Last time before, that scored at 19th minute of the first quarter. So
17 scoring shots to 8. That's a very telling statistic early on.
Well, as I always say, Brash, every good comeback had to start somewhere. So as the ball is knocked from Venn, went out of the middle. It's Jordan. I think he got the kick forward inside 50. Plenty of South Croydon defenders back on this occasion. They should be able to clean it up, and they do. Taken across the line by Marshall.
Which is a good kick by Rhett there.
They've actually had probably the better of this quarter, though, South Croydon. They're certainly territorially, and they've got the goal as well. So they've started well, but they've just got a long, long way to go as they get set to bring the ball back into play eventually. Anytime you like, be good. Now, perhaps, as the kick finally comes in. Mark taken there by Birch, and they'll come off half-back again.
So Birch trying to find an option down here. That was a good kick. Fell into the lap of McKeon. McKeon now has a bit of a roadblock in front of him. Norwood clogging up the zone well, so down the line they're going to have to trust their tools here on this one. And it was the tool in Wen for Norwood who got the tap down. It came to O'Day, now to Bird. His kick was marked by Gretchen. Quick hands by him to take that, and now a high ball inside forward 50. It was a bit of an indifferent kick. It's going to spill for Birch. He got the desperate handball away for Cass since he was under pressure. Now Cass loops the handball across. I think this is Jones twisting this way and that way. His kick down the line is going to find Kilpatrick. No, it doesn't. It goes over his head. But now it's come from Mallison. He was waiting at ground level. And his kick finds the target inside forward 50 in Wilson.
Now, he's the one player that would be capable of kicking a long goal.
He's really going to have to navigate the wind well, however, because you can see the trees just blowing in the background.
Just about flat, aren't they?
One of those tree branches might fall off and spoil the kick. Flying that hard.
So James Wilson,
Really does need to kick this, Wilson.
yeah, their main goal kicker for the year so far with 33 goals. Their one hope from the paint of the arc. He did not account for the wind well enough at all, and it's out in the fall. Let's go to Paul in the score centre.
Right across.
Stat centre even.
South Croydon are leading the inside 50s this quarter 8-4, and they've taken 2 marks inside 50 to none.
Thank you, Paulie. I think I can see quite a bit more rain too, just looking out the window. It looks like it's getting a little heavier there. Boys on the boundary might be able to confirm that, unless my eyes are deceiving me. Wouldn't be the first time. So we go down to Blake.
Yeah, just a quick one. Yeah, there's no rain, it's just wind. We can't really get any drizzle or anything. So,
Well, just thought I saw a few spots on the monitor there, but I don't have the best eyes, so probably no point listening to me as Greachin gets the kick up the wing, bouncing around over there. And can they keep it? And they do pretty well on the end. Hudson it was who bashed it forward. Now it's Johnson, but he's under a bit of pressure and he's taken over the boundary.
Charlton did well not to give away the high free kick there.
He did, so it's going to be a throw in. So if you've just joined us, it is the Norsemen in control, 18:58 to 10:6:18, and the big NAIDOC game out here at Chong Park. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, falls there for Feltham. He lets rip, but it's off target well and truly. In fact, it's out of bounds. You want that one back, and it's going to be a free kick to South Croydon.
You can tell that ball, when it's in the air, it's just getting dragged straight across now.
Yep.
It's going to make things difficult for South Croydon, even more so because they've had limited opportunities, and this will make any opportunity they get hard. Let's go boundary line with Blake Tennant.
Yeah, so just a little bit of drizzle now. It's getting a little bit heavier as we speak. So, yeah.
So Tom Hardstaff is the one to bring it in here for South Croydon. High ball. It was a pretty long kick as well. Crashing over the top there was South Croydon. It's a bit of a scrap there. Jones wrapped up. I think that's Young for Norwood. And the ball up will come. Wen versus Akaruru. It's a ball in dispute there. Scooped up by Norwood, but yet another tackle laid. Conditions becoming very difficult here at Cheong Park as 15 minutes have just ticked over in this third quarter. Wen just with that show of strength once again out of the ruck. They're just tight-roping the boundary line here, and it might work out for South Croydon unless O'Day is able to wrap up Helleran, which he did. Another ball up, another stoppage. This will suit Norwood. Any chance of a comeback for South Croydon would probably have to come in this quarter since they have the scoring end currently. Another wrap up there on O'Day. It was good by Jones, and he just carried him over the boundary line. 2-6-18. That's the Bulldogs score to the Norsemen. 8-10-58. As we get another tap in there as the wind really picks up. Helleran scooped it out. Came to Callie, now to George. Over to Kilpatrick. His kick is going to find the run here of a teammate. Decent kick to McKeon. He just spilt it, but recovered.
Oh, nice.
That was really good composure, good speed as well. Inside forward 50. Wilson's the obvious target. Tweedy spoiled it away from him. Coming in to help out is Dylan Feltham. He's been everywhere today. And over the boundary line. So a throw in the pocket here for South Croydon.
Good kick by McKeon there to the centre. Probably unlucky by Wilson not to get a free, I'd say.
The right kick to the right area. No issues there.
Yep.
So throw in, it's going to be Wilson this time in the ruck against Wen. Oh, he just shoved Wen under the ball, which was good to not give away the free kick. Took it out of the ruck, but was wrapped up instantly. Another ball up. And South Croydon's forward line. Tristan Tweedy tried to take it away there. Found James Feltham. And now a chain of handballs finds Busetto. He just shanked the kick straight to an opponent. Bounced out of his hands and towards Johnson. And Norwood will capitalise once again. Spinning out of danger once and twice. It was Gretchen. High ball towards Potts. Charlton did well to work him under the ball, but it's all Norwood here at ground level. Oh, good composure there. That was well done by Devin McKernan. Oh, he tried to, well, he did well there, did Jones, to get the punch along towards South Croydon's advantage under duress. Kennedy tried to pick it up with one hand, but the boundary line should be them. No, it just stays in. Kennedy lays the tackle and pushes Young over.
A great punch from the forward 50, from the back 50 there. That went about 30 metres.
It was clever.
That wind probably helped.
Yeah, I guess he didn't think he was going to take the mark there.
I think Bird should have laid the tackle there, or the Shepherd, because they would have had an inside 50 then.
Yep.
Let's go to Ryan in the score centre to catch up with some of the scores around the grounds.
3/4 time, Park Orchards lead by a point, 5-9-39 to Berwick, 5-8-38. So that now has ramifications on this game as well.
So I'll tell you who has played well for South Croydon today, and they haven't had too many stars, but Matty Jones has had a very good game as he's tried hard all day, but they've turned the ball over, and it's just not going to be their day, I don't think. The mark is taken there by Johnson.
An experienced player like Charlton shouldn't be making mistakes like that.
And so Johnson's got 17 goals for the season, so he can add to that if he can slot this one through. He's going round the corner, which has become very much the... in vogue. He strikes it beautifully. That's a lovely kick from Johnson, and that's right up there for the a contender for goal of the day, and big celebrations for the Norsemen, and why not? And so Johnson gets goal number 18, and that lead balloons out even more in the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 9-10-64 to 2-6-18. We've had about 18 and a half on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It's probably the ground down at Edward and Flack, it'd be probably heavy. It'll probably be raining.
Yes.
And they're probably trying to keep their legs.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, just with the weather down here, it's just making it so difficult to find those marking targets if you haven't been sort of hitting them all day.
So the ball up wasn't contested at all really. So Akaruru got the handball out, but it was sharked there by Maloney. Quick kick away from the clearance there, finding Gretchen, who's moved to half forward. Bouncing ball inside 50 for him. It just pitches and beats the South Croydon defence, but South Croydon to retain possession. Bouncing ball over the boundary line from that kick out, and we'll get another throw in.
So what, if you can get a big win today, right, on a day like today, percentage could be really important come towards the end of the season.
Very beneficial, yep.
So we're just waiting for the ball to come back there. Good Samaritan on the just over the fence there. Retrieving it for the umpire. 2-6-18 to 9-10-64. That's South Croydon being beaten by the Norsemen here as Maloney laid a good tackle, but South Croydon will keep possession. Holmes came over the top to break things up. Good aggressive work by him, but his handball comes unstuck. It came to Jones, now to O'Neill. Down the ground we go. Helleran tried to take the mark there, just spilt it. Was able to contest for it. He got a handball out into dispute. South Croydon pushed forward once again, but it's come to Bird there. His handball now finds, that was Feltham, now to Wall. And Wall finds a one-on-one situation, and a good mark taken there by Devon McKernan under the Jordan pressure. And he held his ground well there, Devon McKernan, and he's going to switch the ball up here. Let's go to the stat centre with Paul Yukoni.
5 intercept marks to 3 this quarter in favour of South Croydon.
So Matt Jones takes the ball on the far side of the ground, gets a handball off to Birch. He goes down the line trying to find a target, does all right too. That's Kilpatrick over there. Little stab kick, it's not a great one, but it works out. Cass picks it up. South Croydon getting a little bit of something going, but they need a lot more as the ball is picked up by Big Wen. He's had an outstanding game. As it gives it off to a teammate. He got ragdolled, but they still have control of it. As it's gone the way of South Croydon now. Over on the far side is Tweed. He managed to do something better that time. As a little kick. We don't want to get on his case, but he hasn't had a great day. As the ball is in the hands now of one of the Norsemen over there, and they will send the ball long. We've got about, in fact, we've just ticked into time on. We're 21 minutes gone on this term. Batted forward there, over on the far side by Feltham. Now it comes out for the Norseman. A little handball over the top to Jaffa Williams. Is he going to have a crack? No, he decides to try and find a target. But good work over there, and a nice intercept taken there by Charlton. And South Croydon will be able to rebound once again.
So kick onto the wing. Good intercept mark there taken by Cooper Holmes. Haven't called his name all that much, but whenever he pops up, he's doing something pretty good. Kicks it into the centre there for Maloney, and now the spearing ball towards Bennell dropped, and it's Cass to take it away for South Croydon. Finds an option there on the outer wing. It's going to be Jones. We've ticked into time on here in the third quarter, 64-18. Norsemen dominating this contest. Wilson's led up.
Well, he's trying to create something, Wilson. He's trying to make things happen, but it's not working.
Doesn't really have the support around him. But over the top there, well, it was going to be Holmes, but Michael Wen took the mark. Let's go to the score centre here with Ryan.
First update from Baldwin, 8-11-59. The Tigers lead the Roos, 3-8-26. Noble Park stretched their lead over Blackburn, 48-14. And it's an absolute massacre out at Seabeck Oval, 131. Roeville to Doncaster 13.
Oh, wow.
They are taking their displeasure from that Vermont game out on the poor Sharks.
It's not good to
Roeville.
see, though, a score like that.
No. Helleran just fighting his way through, acting bigger than he is. That was a good kick towards a target there. Oh, I think it was Callie, but Holmes did well to scoop it up, handballed it off to Atkins. Now Johnson, who's led up, takes the mark. Spearing ball, cutting off the 45, but it's come unstuck. And the mark's been taken there by Marshall. He dodges around his opponent, gets the kick to King. King in his 301st game, and it was a really good kick there to Wilson. Split the space between two Norse defenders, and Wilson will go back and try and put on South Croydon's third.
He wanted to kick it because Kelly was screaming for it in the forward pocket, probably about 20 or maybe 15 out, and ignored him. So backing himself, Wilson.
Yep.
He's the key forward. He has to back himself.
Got that.
It is his duty. Kicks it towards goal. It's going to just fade left, off hands.
Probably would have handed it off to Kelly.
Yeah.
So James Wilson can't add to his 33 goals for the season. He's gone goalless today, but that's not uncommon when you've only got 2 on the board. As we're just waiting for the ball to come back, and eventually it does, so they'll bring it back into play. Little short one into the pocket. Mark is taken there by Dixon, so we've had nearly 25 got on this term, so probably 2 or 3 minutes to go.
They'd be just playing this boundary line at the moment.
Yeah.
So a little short, in fact a longish kick down the line, trying to find a target, gets over the back. South Croydon will get hands on it. Nice work there by George. And they'll come back inside 50 again. They've had their moments, South Croydon, but they just haven't been able to finish them off. As Tweedy happy to see it across the boundary line, and we'll have a throw in the left forward pocket.
They've had their moments, Brett, but they certainly haven't been able to hit a target in their forward 50 all afternoon.
No, they couldn't hit a side of the barn door, I don't think, today. They've been really wayward with so many of their kicks as we wait for the umpire to throw it in again. And it goes. Plenty of purchase on it. Wen got another hit out. He's been outstanding today for the Norsemen as the kick goes down, but it's been turned over. It's been one of those days in the hands of, I think that's Birch, is it? He's going to send it back. So Birch, little short one. But he's I tell you what, it's a turnover fest as the ball is intercepted partially by Dixon. Now Bennell gives a handball off, and here they come again down that line. Little ball back inside. Williams was there, but nicely chopped off, and now South Croydon come back.
So Birch's kick was a little wayward. Mallison tried to keep it in, but it's going to be a throw in there.
Just the luck of it, Brash. You were saying again, probably Norwood's ball bounces in. They find that spare player.
How many times has South Croydon turned the ball over this afternoon? What have we got?
I don't have a statistic for turnovers, but I'm sure they've done it
That would be a lot.
1 times.
Yeah.
Could have made it up. We would have believed you.
Yeah.
So
we'll add it to the list.
So Norwood going forward there again, and it's Yaron Jaffa-Williams. He's the man one out. Oh, he was tackled.
God.
Really good run-down tackle there by Dylan Marshall, but he's been has infringed. In fact, it's in the back. Yaron Jaffa-Williams will get the chance here to add his third.
You could tell he telegraphed it. He knew this was going to happen. Look, Marshall, he's grabbed him, but he's pushed him down as he's got rid of the ball.
Oh, dear.
His forward motion has pushed him forward.
There's not much you could do there in fairness, I don't think.
It should have been a ball up.
It's that desperation that they needed to show. And unfortunately, that's meant he's infringed.
No, the coach can't have a go at him for that, but it's just unfortunate.
Yep. So Jaffa-Williams, he's got 2 for the day. Now to put his third on the board. It will be Norwood's 10th if he can slot it. The former Baldwin man. That's a straight kick. That's a great goal for Yaron Jaffa-Williams. And he celebrates with a roar. And the sound's gone for three-quarter time. And currently it's Norwood 10-10-70 with that kick. Really belting South Croydon now to 7-19. Let's go to Brett. with some of the goal scorers.
Well, interestingly enough, we've only got the one multiple goal kicker, and it is that man, Jaffa Williams, with 3. There's singles to a host of other Norwood players, and of course for the South Croydon side, Kelly has both their goals. But 3/4 time, and not much has changed, to be honest. It's Norwood well and truly in control. They lead 10-10-70 to 2-7-19 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Time for a break as the sun pokes its head through, and we'll come back and have a look at the third term and look ahead to the fourth term after this.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wantirna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
The first time I met the team at Tobin Brothers Funerals, I felt like I'd known them for years. They're so caring, honest and passionate. James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, sums it up best when he says,
Every day our people get out of bed to assist client families in their absolute time of need. Our people love what they do, and you will not find a more highly trained group of people than those at Tobin Brothers.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Hi, I'm Ben Desson from Montrose Football Netball Club, and when I need a new kit for a night out, I head over to Eastland. But Eastland is more than a shopping centre. They support a range of community organisations and have been major partners of the Eastern Football Netball League since 2018. Thanks, Eastland.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to Cheong Park, where it's very one-sided now. It's really Norwood that have taken control of this one, and at 3/4 time they're well and truly on top. 10 goals, 10-70, leading 2-7-19 with a quarter to play. And boys, what does South Croydon do from here?
Well, they're playing for pride now, Brett, because at the start of the game, if you asked me that Norwood would be 51 points up at 3/4 time, I would have said you're dreaming.
Tell them they're dreaming.
Yeah, that'll do. We got any scores, Ryan?
Yes, we do have some scores around the ground. We'll follow this one closely. Berwick versus Park Orchards, 45-40. Berwick leading. That's 5 minutes gone in the last quarter there. As we mentioned before, Baldwin, a very handy lead over East Ringwood at 3/4 time. Noble Park, 48-14 over Blackburn. Roval, 131 to Doncaster 13. At 3/4 time, it is Vermont who's leading Doncaster East, but the Lions came back that quarter. So 11-4-70 the Eagles. The Lions 8-10-58. So it's an interesting one to keep an eye off in the last quarter. Down in Division 1, Mitcham North Ringwood. Scores have been updating, so I think this is correct. 5-2-32 to 5-4-34. Very low scoring, that one. The Saints in front by 2 points. Wantirna South take an 11-point lead over Croydon at 3/4 time. South Belgrave have skipped ahead over Beaconsfield 70-28. Jumping into Division 2, Abronia very comfortable over East Burwood 63-16. Templestowe 62 to the Basin 31. The Jets are 5-goal lead over Knox, but Knox have certainly been coming back at certain patches of this game. Out at Division 3, Warrandyte trail Furniture Gully by 5 points as we go boundary side to Blake Tennant.
South Croydon co-chief Marcus Basilio. Marcus, very disappointing, but I thought that your third quarter was a bit better, and how do you see that, mate?
Yeah, look, obviously our second quarter was a train wreck, to be honest. Our third was better. Our first quarter was pretty good, and we just need to sort of finish it off there. It's been a dirty day, disappointing day. They've played some good footy, and we've just sort of chased back, to be honest.
Just listening into your three-quarter time speech, you talk about wanting to defend and be a bit more safe. Is that the kind of message you want to bring out for the last quarter?
No, it's sort of the opposite, really. I thought we were too safe forward of the ball. We had 19 entries, but just not using it the way we want to use it in front of the ball. So we sort of kept going. We kept going down the same line. So we need to. The hardest thing when you're getting rolled is to be brave. We went to our shells again there, and we need to change lanes and be a bit braver with the ball. And look, we've kicked 2 goals to three-quarter time, so we're going to look to score.
No worries, mate. And enjoy the last quarter.
Thanks there to Blake Tennant. Jumping back into some scores in Division 3, Oakley 60 to Whitehall 38. Important win for them if they can hold on there. Coldstream back out to a 22-point lead over Fair Park. Donvale 40 points ahead of Sylvan. Update at Surrey Park at half-time. They lead 44 to Croydon North Hemlock 18.
So back in the middle as we get start for the last right to this game, the fourth quarter, and Wen wins yet another hit-out. Love to see the hit-out stats today. I don't think we've got those as the ball goes inside. Charlton's there, but he can't get to the ball, and South Croydon will be able to bring it out. They've got a bit of work to do, though, as the dangerous kick inside. Dan O'King hasn't seen a lot of the footy today. Hasn't been one of his great days. Now it's over on the far side, and they'll go inboard South Croydon, trying to find a target. Through the hands there of Schenk. He should have done better there, but they still managed to get it. Little ball back inside. Here's an opportunity. Here's the kick to the, I think it was more, it probably should have squared it, but he decided to have a go, and it wasn't a great option in the end. It's gone through for a minor score. So the first score of the last term goes the way of the South Croydon side, but they're 50 points light on the scoreboard, and we're coming up to the first minute of the last quarter.
Let's go to the stat centre with Paul.
Well, Best, I've got some clearance stats for you. The clearances are 33 to 14 in favour of Norwood.
Wow.
So they probably should have enforced a follow on it half-time.
Just a big update from Pink's Reserve. Churnside Park 9-5-59, Kilsyth 4-5-29. Upset brewing.
What is going on there? All right, so it's been broken up a little bit here by South Croydon as Bettison is tackled, holding the ball. And so here goes South Croydon through Kennedy. Finds the handball option off. This is Jones. Gets it back and kick inside forward 50. Punched away by Tweedy. That was good. Falls for Kilpatrick. Swings on to his right. It's a rainmaker into the goal square, and Cooper Holmes was camped out underneath it. Took a good mark, shares it around now with Bird and Tweedy. Sorry, it was Feltham and Tweedy. Kemp gets it back to Feltham for O'Day there, and now Dixon takes a bounce. Just completely broke through the Willis tackle with complete disdain. Centres the ball to Gretchen. What a kick! What a fantastic kick that was. Gretchen was free, and that inside 50, it was challenged there by South Croydon. Johnson couldn't do much with it, but now it's fallen for Bennell. He's got to work his way out. He was in a bit of a standoff there with a couple of South Croydon defenders and did really well to make sure he kept his space and got the chiselling ball there to James Feltham.
I don't think I want to be buying any real estate off Damien Sully this afternoon.
That was a pretty short kick, wasn't it?
I don't reckon that's 15.
No, I didn't think so either, to be honest.
But, you know, you've got to apply pressure to him in that pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them just looking at him back and forth.
James Feltham. He's kicked 1 for the day. That came in the second quarter. He's kicked 7 for the year so far to stretch Norwood's lead to 56 points. He's done just that. Great goal by Feltham. And Norwood keep going. Let's go to the boundary line with Dylan Smith.
Yeah, it was a really positive place to be at the Norwood huddle at three-quarter time. The coach just sort of singling out their work around the ball, how good the mids have been at the clearance. And yeah, just a really positive session there.
I think one of the more positive things, remarkably, with that James Feltham goal, he's only the second multiple goal kicker for Norwood. So as many goals as they've kicked, they've shared it around at Jaffa Williams' side with his 3. So
also good poise again shown by Dylan Feltham.
Yep. So when another hit out for him, he's just been absolutely outstanding. They'll go inside 50 again off the boot of Maloney. into the goal square, but they managed to repel. In fact, they don't repel because Benell, funny little kick forward, and they'll happily take it. That might almost be deliberate, but I don't know if we even play deliberate anymore in the EFNL, but taken across the boundary there by Marshall.
They've had 6 rush behinds today.
So
Norwood in this 11-11.
back into play. Beautiful mark by Wen. He's doing everything. He really has been outstanding today.
We've got to give him the 3 votes.
Yeah,
probably.
He's clearly the best player on the ground.
I don't think there's much doubt about that. So he sends it long, looking for Benell. A beautiful mark taken over. That's a great grab taken there by Potts, and he will go back from a very difficult angle. As you can see the trees in the background still swaying around there. There's been a bit of breeze around today. I'm not sure if it's got any worse or not. Probably about the same as when we started. So
Not making any difference to the way Norwood are playing. They're just attacking the contest.
So it looks like he's going to go the conventional drop punt, Potts from the boundary, but he sends it inboard instead, and that'll be easily cut off. Not a great kick, and it'll be a chance for South Croydon to bring it out of defence.
Well, he wanted someone at the top of the goal square and wanted someone to lead there, I suppose, but there was no one there.
Probably their only mistake of the day.
Pretty much.
So South Croydon chipping it across the goal face, and if that's out in the full, that is yet another mistake, as Charlton just looks dejected as he has to hand the ball back there to Jamie Benell.
When I have a look at the Premier data stats this week, I'm going to be very interested to see how many turnovers and all that that Premier data come up with.
It does,
for South Croydon.
Jamie Benell entitled to go for this one. He's hard up against the boundary line. He's going to go the drop punt for this one. Hope the wind doesn't catch it. Well, it was nearly marked there. It was marked there. Just over the goal square.
It's a mark.
That's got to be a mark. Yep.
It's got to be a mark.
It's a mark because the goal umpire's walked away.
And Daniel Potts is the one to take
he would
it.
have called mine. So that's a legitimate mark.
So Potts has got one for the day. He's going to have to kick around the corner there. He was hard up against the boundary line, not far out, but he's just kicked the one behind there, unfortunately.
1-3 for Potts this afternoon.
Norwood advance their lead.
So we've had 6 minutes in this last 2. Might be a good opportunity to pop into the score centre and see how some of the other teams are tracking. Here's Ryan.
Berwick 2 goals in front now against Park Orchards. They've kicked 2 goals to nothing in this last quarter, so holding on to a bit of a lead there. Out at Warrandyte reserve. Warrandyte cut it back to scores level, but French Gully have just kicked away again. So they lead by a goal, the Gully, but that's one to keep an eye on. Domvale very comfortable over Sylvan. Oakley over Whitehorse. Coldstream Fair Park still a 20-point lead to the Cougars.
So Kaz sends it straight down the middle of the ground. Bit of a dangerous kick. And look at all the yellow jerseys around there. It's been the sort of the theme of the day, to be honest. They've been outnumbered around every contest, the South Croydon side. And now it's a free kick.
Looks like the intensive care units arrived at Warrandyte again.
It hasn't left, Crash.
It's still
every
coming.
week.
It's there.
And just at Pink's
has
reserve,
it arrived, or is it?
Churnside Park kicked another one. They're going to be home here. 6 goals ahead of Kilsyth. That's a big win.
That's a huge win. So it's Halloran. He gets a kick inside, finds Birch. But
back on track.
Not a lot of urgency from the South Croydon side. Dano King, he's calling for it, but he's not going to get it as they spread it across to Kilpatrick.
I'll tell you what, I want to know who this Oracle person is.
He's gotten that one right, hasn't he?
The kick finds McKeon.
He's got North Ringwood in front too.
So McKeon, yes, the mystery that is the Oracle. We should have an unmasking at the end of the season to see who it is. McKernan slams it across the far side. Chasing there's Benell, but I think the ball's going to... No, in fact, he did really well. No, the umpire said, hang on, it was out. I thought he got that, mind you, across the other side of the field. A bit hard to see, but going to be a throw-in.
Updated Heights Reserve. Moorabah's lead's been cut back. 11-10-76 to Bayswater, 10-9-69. So Bayswater are coming home strong. South Belgrave 70 to Beaconsfield 28. So that's all over there. Yeah. They'll be 13 in a row this season.
Love to see my Ruffy nearly getting up there. Hopefully, I'm hoping Bayswater home there.
Yeah, the fat lady's already sung up at South Belgrave.
Yeah, I'd say so. So when he was awarded the free kick there from that stoppage, and Gretchen will be the one to hoof it inside forward 50 for Norwood, but a really good mark taken there. That was McKernan. Devon McKernan switches it across the ground. And a chipping ball out of defensive 50 for the Bulldogs. Finds Cox, shares it with Marshall. He goes over to Kilpatrick. Aggressive handball into the corridor. Found George. It's gone back to Marshall. He had to backtrack, however. And it was McKernan once again. He finds O'Neill. They're building here, South Croydon. And the kick inside the forward line. Is it going to be Callie? It's Callie versus Tweedy. Well, Tweedy just took him into the tackle there. Could have picked a free kick from that. Mallison takes advantage, however. 2-on-1 situation there, favouring Norwood. But they left it for the Bulldogs player in Jones. And his kick, it finds O'Neill in absolute space. Goal. And that's a goal to O'Neill. So one back there for South Croydon. As we've said, playing for pride at this point.
And that was just so much better by them, at least taking it on, taking the risk, as sort of Marcus spoke about it at three-quarter time. Just give it a go and look what turns around. But
well, tell you what,
mate, fortune favours the bold.
Yeah, I don't, too little, too late.
I don't want to be too critical there, but and obviously with the game well and truly won, but I wouldn't be thrilled if I was Marty Pest. Dylan Atkins, when that ball came in, just sort of stood there and let it go. It wasn't a great piece of defending, so you've got to keep your wits about you, even when the game is done and dusted.
Out at Baldwin Vizzy Park, Baldwin 11-13-79 to East Ringwood 6-9-45. So they hold on there. Every team in Premier has lost at least 3 games.
Interesting competition. So the little handball out goes to Maloney, but he's taken him the tackle on the ground. And the umpire says we'll have a ball up. Yep, shaping up as a really interesting competition, isn't it, the Premier Division?
Yeah,
it's
have a go at trying to pick it.
Yeah, it's really tough.
No
which is excellent. It's one of the better competitions we've had in recent years. As the ball goes into the contest, Bill's out there, Jones trying to pick it up, but he was beaten to the footy on that occasion.
I thought you had to pay that. I thought Jordan took him on there, and just dropped it, but didn't get the free.
Big couple of results here in Division 1 at the moment. Croydon in front over Warren Turner South, 48-40.
Wow.
And Moolbark Bayswater, scores are level, 76 apiece.
Told you couldn't trust the Devils.
The Bark, Basie have come back from the clouds, really. From early on.
They're a funny side, Bayswater. That might have been a sling tackle, but the umpire says nothing doing, and we'll have a ball up.
Well, they were 33 points down at quarter time, Bayswater.
Yeah,
they've made
massive.
a big comeback.
It's impressive, yeah. That's not something that they've done, I don't think, throughout the year. I don't think they've come back. They've just controlled games and kept scores low in the games that they have won. But back to the ranch here at Cheong Park. As Kilpatrick just lost a handle on it, and Norwood's going to feast on this opportunity. It's Bird. The whistle's gone. Advantage taken. Bisetto wrapped up. That was good stuff by McKeon to stifle the handball there. Strip Bisetto of it and holding the ball. And so actually the free kick's gone there to Birch. No, it's going to come back, and I think McKeon was at the legitimate recipient of the free kick. So a bit of a stop in play here as we work things out. Callan McKeon done a couple of good things today. Been one of the cleaner with his hands there and ball use for South Croydon. And the kick inside 50 was indifferent, so Tweedy took it off the pack, trying to find Gretchen. He completely out-muscled his man in the marking contest there. Had to follow up though because he was beaten to the ball. And free kick for holding on there. Matty George, former Park Orchards man, gets it towards Kennedy. Good punch away there by Tweedy. It's going to fall for James Feltham. And now Cooper Holmes, his kick was, it just came off his toe there, but regardless of the contest that ensued, it's going to be Norwood to take it away again through the wall.
Who's there?
And there's no one defending there for South Croydon, so the mark's been taken easily there by Potts, and out wide now, as Scott had just said, to, I think this is going to be Jamie Bennell.
Yeah, he was standing there for minutes on end,
That's
just man him up.
That's just embarrassing, that really is.
Scores level out at Warrandyte Reserve. Warrandyte goal, 72 apiece.
Gosh. Oh, goodness me. What a round it's panning out to be here.
Yeah, everywhere but here, really, at the moment.
Yeah, Ryan's picked another superb game for us today.
Thanks, Brett.
Under the bus you go, Ryan. Under the bus go South Croydon as well, as Jamie Bennell buries another one in their back. That's his second for the game for Jamie. 14th on the year as the white flags are waving all over the ground, really.
Deserved the goal. Like I said, he was standing there calling for it, and great finish for him. He's had a good game.
Not only does this puts Norwood, it still gives them a glimmer of hope, but this really does put pay to South Croydon season today.
A big game next
Well,
week against Park Orchards.
Yeah, do we start thinking about relegation for them? I mean, where are they? They were 9th coming into today, so...
Yeah, we spoke about that on
Yeah.
pre-game, Brett, just about the consequences from that and from this Park Orchards Berwick game, which we'll get a score update from shortly. But yeah, if they do, and then South Croydon take on Park Orchards next week. So
Yeah, it's almost unthinkable that South Croydon could be into the relegation zone, but, you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles. Ball comes out. There's that man again, Wen, who gets... In fact, that wasn't Wen, that was Wall on that occasion, as they go down the line once again. In fact, they go inboard. It's picked up there, or tried to pick it up, was Marshall, but he's outnumbered well and truly, and the ball is... the umpire says we'll have to come back, as Hudson was trying to take off, but we'll come back.
But we shouldn't be surprised, because we've been saying this all year. If you don't bring your A game and you're 5% off, the opposition's going to touch you up, and this is once again is what's happened in First Division.
So Grecian it as he slams it to the hot spot. There's a couple of players there, but they can't get hands to it, and it's knocked out of bounds.
I really enjoy watching Michael Gretchen play. He's a very aggressive ball winner, and he's really good without the ball as well. Puts on a lot of pressure.
At least they've got... Marty Pass got something to work with here. They've got a few players that are still a little bit raw around the edges, but you can't knock the endeavour.
No, absolutely not. So, and it comes as they win the hit out. Ball goes to the ground, and South Croydon will be able to get it out. But let's see where the kick goes to. Mark almost taken there by Bettison, but in fact it's South Croydon who get the mark. Now Jones wheels away, decides to go back, puts it back to Kilpatrick. That was just hit the ground, wasn't a mark. Quick play on there to Akaruru, and he puts it to Hardstaff, who's just absolute hospital pass, and he had nowhere to go, and in fact it's a free kick because it was a high tackle.
So Hardstaff handed it off there to Kilpatrick. Yet another inside 50 goes begging, but good pressure there laid by McKernan, who we haven't called him much today, but this final quarter is, he stepped up a little bit.
And a smart tackle not to give away the free kick, because he knew if he piled him down, he'd either give it away for in the back or dangerous tackle.
So it resulted in a ball up there, and Norwood will take the free kick, will take the clearance away. It's ended up with O'Day. He's handed it off to Atkins, who went for a bit of a jog there. Didn't have much pressure on him. But the spoil from that marking contest came to Cass. His kick down the line. It's probably going to come back again if Young has anything to say about it. No, it was under mountains of pressure there as O'Neill gets the handball out to Aldous. Aldous finds the man inboard. It's Helleran, but a huge tackle laid there. Not stepping back at all is Dixon. And another tackle there by Norwood is going to wrap it up. That was good stuff there by Lockie Dixon.
Tell you what, the way Dylan Atkins has moved today, I don't reckon he'll need a shower tonight. He's as clean as anything.
Brutal.
Yeah.
So Johnson taps it down there to South Croydon's advantage, however. Kilpatrick found Mallison. Now Hardstaff there. Kick and a half from goal.
But he has played, I'm not saying he's played well.
Yeah.
So inside forward 50 for South Croydon. And it's come unstuck once again. O'Day ran it out of there. He's done well, O'Day, to find the ball again. Went for a bounce. That wasn't a great kick as Birch swallowed that up. It was almost directed for him entirely. And his kick's going to find Mallison. Good mark under duress.
So, been a tough day for the Wombat. Haven't seen too much of him today. We've had 17 minutes gone on this term.
Good kick.
Long kick, that's a beautiful kick. In fact, it finds Wilson. He's outside the 50, but his kick trying to find a target does pretty well in the end. Aldous wheels around, goes back onto the left, but he's got to hit a target, and he does really well. Perfect kick to O'Neill. Just a little bit gone to sleep, the Norwood defence on that occasion. Got to keep your standard up even with the margin out to 84-26.
Go on, Brush.
Young Aldous has tried hard for South Croydon this afternoon.
So he'll have an opportunity to kick his first of the day and to get one back. Looks pretty good. Nice. A goal umpire didn't move, so that's a goal for Aldous in the last quarter.
No, that was O'Neill.
Sorry, O'Neill, I beg your pardon.
That's his second.
That's his second.
Yeah, so carbon copy of his last goal as well, because he found the exact same space, the exact same amount of space in the exact same spot of the forward line. Took an uncontested mark, and good set shot as well.
Needed to find that space probably a little bit earlier and present that, because it's worked. It's worked for him twice now, and he's doing a good kick when he's in front of goal.
Final score out at Edwin Flack. Berwick have won 58-45. So they are now in front. Are they now in front of South Croydon on the ladder? Is that
I
correct?
think so, yeah.
Depends on the percentage now.
Very interesting.
So back up we go. Akaruru got the clearance out to Kilpatrick. The ball, it just clean bowled O'Neill that time, and Norwood's going to take the advantage. Cooper Holmes, I thought, taken without it there by McKeon, but I guess McKeon did well not to give away the free kick. Kicks it inside, forward 50 for a one-on-one situation. Wilson was forced to go the one hand. Sorry, that's Kennedy, forced to go the one hand, but wasn't able to do much with it.
Were you talking, Ryan, were you saying about whether Berwick would go above South Croydon?
Yes.
They will, yeah. So they'll go to 16 points, South Croydon on 12.
Wow, that's very interesting now.
Dirty day for the Bulldogs, definitely. As Norwood's exit from defensive 50 goes awry.
Back to square one for Park Orchards, though.
And Warrandyte in front over Ferntree Gully by 2 points.
Wow, jeez.
Those massive question marks there. Helleran takes the clearance. Jones tried to get the kick away, but it was stolen from him there by Maloney. And another chain of handballs out. Oh, it found O'Day, but here's McKernan once again. Definitely stepped up in this final quarter. Jones takes advantage of that free kick. Nearly a mark taken there. Oh, foils front and centre here for Kilpatrick. O'Neill was free in the exact same spot, but McKeon was the target. And Norwood will rove the marking contest, take it away. And Kemp finds Holmes. Holmes turns it over. And it's Yaron Jaffa-Williams forced to tackle there as Marshall was the one to cut things off for Norwood.
I can't believe, Joe, they didn't look for O'Neill before. He was exactly in the same spot again and open.
And yeah, not manned up either. So from the stoppage there, Gretchen got a nice clearance. Mark taken just a shallow entry there for the Norseman inside 50. And the mark has been taken by Potts once again, who's been a lively forward for the Norse.
Bowen 55-point lead over East Ringwood.
How do you work Bowen out?
You don't.
Honestly, how do you work them out? 2 goals, 2 apiece in the last quarter here.
Crazy.
So Daniel Potts, he's kicked the one for the game. Had one taken off him controversially.
Oh.
That's not controversial if it goes through for a behind, which it does.
Wide ball.
Shocking kick.
Have South Croydon played Doncaster yet, or have they got Doncaster to come?
Got him again.
Yeah, because that's going to be a massive game now.
It's the one against Park Orchards. I'm keeping my eye on there.
Yep, so the ball is in the hands of the Norsemen again. Funny little ball back inside of Gresham, put him under enormous pressure, but they've managed to retain possession. He could be a goal for Hudson. He snaps. How's the goal? No, the goal umpire was moving. And he taps the chest, so another missed opportunity, but not that it's really going to matter. We're 21 minutes played in this last term, so we're well into time on. And on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, it is 86 playing 33.
The old doof music's getting a bit
I tell you.
Don't tell Brett
He
that.
actually said, turn it up. I really like this song.
Yeah. Baronia 10-goal winners over East Burwood. That's another big win for the Hawks.
That's a big statement.
Any more scores, Ryan? Apart from that?
Murubak 11-11-77, Bayswater 11-12-78. They lead by a point.
Get out.
Jeez.
Long kick inside forward 50 there for Norwood, and it's been marked. And it's been marked well by James Feltham.
Want an update from Seabeck?
Yeah, go on.
24-23, 167 to 2-7-19.
Oh, that's
ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Missed some opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, goal kicking practice on Tuesday night.
They'll be ruining that. So James Feltham just passed it to his brother. Probably didn't need to. He hands it off to Cooper Holmes. It's a long shot for home there for Holmes. He's missed. Let's try to make things exciting, but they let us down. And just the one behind there. Norwood 12-15-87 to South Croydon 4-9-33. 22 and a half minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
So South Croydon to bring it back in. We've had, as Jared said, 22 minutes gone, so hopefully we haven't got too much longer to go.
Tell us what you really think, Brett.
He wanted to hit the party scene,
with due respects, we probably need to be put out of our misery at some point. 87-33, and we've got, what have we got here? A free kick, is it? On the far side. And it goes, ball goes to ground. Jones tried to get it, but he ran past it, but they've still got it. Someone got their head taken off over there. It was George.
And still good to see Norwood applying pressure that they've done all day. All day they've applied those tackles.
Well, you need to almost apply the mercy rule as Wynn gets another hit out, knocks it down, but it's come out to Marshall again. George it is, sorry. They go right across the other side of the ground, but bouncing around over there. Good work by Basito. Taken there by Wills, but he's gone.
Tackle.
That's got to be a ball. Bennell it was who made the tackle.
He's been good
If
today.
we had the mercy rule, Brett, we would have been packed up and gone home at half time.
So, Jamie, I managed to get the whole day through without calling him Harley, which I thought was going to happen. Here's Jamie Bennell, puts a little kick into the pocket. There's a couple of Norsemen there, ball bouncing around. Comes out though, and it's to the goal square. Punched away, but dangerous. Potts it was. He had a huge air swing, and even the goal umpire smiled. He thought that was hilarious. So Potts misses a golden opportunity, and it's 3 for another point. 88 plays 33, 24 gone last turn.
It wasn't only an air swing; he kicked it backwards with his heel on the return flight.
Back heel.
Oh dear. So kick in from South Croydon. George fighting hard. He's done well today, George. Can't fault him too much as South Croydon try to go forward once again. And it's been swallowed up by Dylan Feltham. The mistakes start to come. And speaking of his Tristan Tweedy, he did well that time, getting it back to Feltham.
Been very clean this second half.
Yeah, no, he's probably heard our criticisms and cleaned up his act. We really were sticking the boots in in that second quarter specifically. So it's been fed off there to Bennell. He's going to go for a flying shot towards the boundary line, I guess. Out in the oh no, it's been kept in there. Oh, what a scrubbing attempt at goal. Cox is going to claim that though on the boundary line as it just went right across the face. So South Croydon keeping it in, getting some run on here.
Ooh.
Good punch over the top there by Bettison. It's fallen for Jones, however. Got some spring in his step still there, does Jones. Marked by Callie, the only multiple goal. Nope. O'Neill's also a multiple goal scorer there for Croydon, so I'll shut my mouth.
Update out at Vermont. The Eagles up by 40.
Ooh, that's huge there. I really thought Doncaster East would keep their form going there.
Try to hit this competition.
No, it's ridiculous. Kennedy just kicked it to a 4-on-1 situation.
Yeah, okay. Anything from Noble?
Very handy lead over Blackburn.
Have Blackburn scored more than 16 points yet, Brian?
They have kicked 1 goal 8, so no.
Goodness gracious. So
really disappointing.
Feltham it is. He sends it down, Dylan Feltham. Ball out towards the side, and now South Croydon are going to get it, and they're going to come back and go inside 50. Here's the Wombat. Let's rip on the left foot. He's going to go for home here. No, in fact, he's decided to centre it. Still in. Jones, Gregg to the grounds. Ball still there. Under a lot of pressure. That's a high tackle, I think, and it's going to go the way of Potts. So free kick to Norwood.
Well, that's an experience.
26 minutes gone. That's not a great kick, though, and it's going to come back into the hands of Halloran, who lets rip to the goal square, but there's plenty of defenders back there. Here's an opportunity now. Great tackle.
Feltham.
Brilliant tackle by Feltham. He's had a very good game today.
Well, he's getting me too, mate.
Free kick count in this game is 24-15 in favour of South Croydon.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is.
It doesn't necessarily follow that the side leading should be leading the free kicks, but nonetheless. So up it goes. Wen just takes it out of the ruck again. Ball on the grounds. Oh, that's a high tackle. No doubt about that one.
I can't believe it myself, but I'll record what I see, so I guess.
Can't make it up.
Don't shoot the messenger, I guess.
So Holmes bangs it down the line, and in fact, it's a bit too far, and it's out on the floor.
If you'd like me to make it up, I can, but
yeah, we prefer to be factual, Paul. But
But
Final result out at One Turner South. 5-10-40. Lost to Croydon 7-6-48.
That's incredible there, but the final siren has gone here at Cheong Park. South Croydon in a really, really rough day. 4-9-33 have lost to Norwood 12-16-88. And it's going to be a hard task for South Croydon here if they're to go anywhere this year in 2023.
So goal kickers for Norwood, they've had certainly a fantastic day. This has given them a huge fillip for the rest of the season. Yaron Jaffa Williams, he kicked 3. The other multiple goal kickers, Feltham of the James variety, kicked a couple. And in the end, Jamie Bennell got a couple. And there's a whole host of singles. Johnson was a single. D was a single. Potts, Jordan, I don't think I've missed anyone. And for South Croydon, just a couple of multiple goal kickers for them. And it was O'Neill and Kelly. But one-way traffic, we thought the first term it was going to be quite interesting with all that low scoring, but really blew out in the second term, and then it just got worse after that. But the final score out here, it's Norwood 12-16-88 to South Croydon 4-9-33 as we go to the boundary.
Yeah, good. Just got superstar from Norwood, Yaron Yaffa Williams, mate. Incredible game today in a really, tough, windy conditions. Must be pretty proud of the result, mate.
Yeah, real happy. We had a past couple of weeks, 3 losses in a row, so we want to come back strong and really represent the Norwood Football Club with the new jersey. Really proud of the boys today. We really cracked in and gave full 4-quarter effort.
You talk about the jump up. How was the build-up for this game? Must be really big and obviously shown at the result.
Yeah, mate, it's been a massive build-up, a lot of concentration throughout the week. Tuesday, Thursday training was really great. We were all up and about and we were just looking forward to come play today.
3 goals, mate. Mate, is this one of your best games, you reckon, or big game?
A bit lucky today with the boys. They ain't getting off the hands, but it's good to have 3 goals, mate. Yeah, we were happy with that.
Well, really big win today, mate. I think you put yourself, around the 6 mark around there, and you guys are really pushing to where you want to be, which is September action. So congratulations on the win, mate.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Just got Yaron Yaffa Williams.
So Yaron Jaffa Williams, he's had a good game today, kicked those 3 goals, and despite the fact that he's trying to play his efforts down, he was pretty handy today.
Very good.
Speaking of being handy, let's go into the score centre with someone who's very handy with all the scores, and that's Ryan Long.
Oh, thanks, Brett. Baldwin defeated East Ringwood. That's a final result, 101-45. Berwick have defeated Park Orchards, 58-45. Noble haven't got a final result there, but they're pretty much home against Blackburn.
Go the Bulls.
Roval, we don't need to mention that score again. That's a very big win, over 150 points that Roval have defeated Doncaster by. Vermont have defeated Doncaster East, a final result there, 102-67. Another big result for the Eagles. Got to start take them seriously now, Brash. Jumping into Division 1, South Belgrave defeated Beaconsfield 70-28. Croydon, as we mentioned before, have got over the line against Wanturna South by 8 points. Now we've got to figure out the ladder and where Wanturna South are. They might be out of the 5.
This is huge for Bayswater if they,
you'll
read that score.
I believe this is a final result. Bayswater 11-12-78 to Moolbuck 11-11-77. Waiting for confirmation from the clubs, but I believe that's it.
So Wanturna South going down, Beaconsfield going down.
It's
open for Bayswater.
It's going to take a bit of time to work out the ladder. Lilydale have lost to Montrose. Mitcham, North Ringwood, that's one score I've been chasing. Still can't find anything on that yet. Early in that game, North Ringwood led by 2 points. Heathmont defeated Knox 93-70. Ringwood defeated Upper Ferntree Gully. Templestowe 87 defeated the Basin 46. Bronya 63 defeated. Oh, sorry, I've read that 3-quarter time score. They won by 10 goals in one of your favourite players' 200th game, Jess Bolson.
Oh, Jesse played his 200th game. Fantastic. We should have gone out there, Ryan.
Yes, well, I'm always happy to go down there. That a big result for him. Coldstream defeated Fair Park 60-37. Donvale 108 over the Cats 23.
Wow.
I believe this is final 2. Warrandyte 74, Ferntree Gully 72. Again, just waiting for the final confirmation on that, but that's a big win for the Bloods.
That's a great win, isn't it? Because they had some really tough times at the start of the season, and it's a massive win.
Absolutely. And Oakley District 10-8-68 to Whitehorse 7-11-53. Jumping into Division 4, final score from Surrey Park, or from Hughes Park, Surrey Park 121 to Croydon North 19. They only managed 1 point in the second half, the Kangaroos. Nuttawading 2-11-23, lost the scores be 15-8-98, and final result out of Pink's Reserve, Churnside Park 11-9, 75 to Kilsyth 4-5-29. So not only have they beaten them, they've won by over 7 goals. After I said Kilsyth will lock the 6 to 7 goal win.
It's impressive by Churnside. Really interesting to see what happened down there to Kilsyth.
So we will go to our last ad break before we get back for the wrap-up of this Eastland Match of the Round.
As Sarah opened her best friend Jackie's wedding invitation, she was overcome with a wave of emotion. While her 2 young boys wrestled on the floor, tears of happiness rolled down Sarah's cheeks as she saw the words she'd been longing to see. Please note, this wedding will be a child-free event. Well, Sarah, looks like we're off to Eastland for a new frock and some heels. And let's book in that babysitter. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League, you'll generally experience shorter wait times. You don't need private health, but there is an out-of-pocket fee. Be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
Do you feel good about your bank? Because there is a bank you can feel good about. They share their profits to fund big community projects, small community clubs, and vital emergency services. They've given $250 million to help Australian communities thrive. They have all the products and tech you expect from a big bank, with service you don't. It's Bendigo Bank. Feel good about who you bank with. Try Bendigo. Search bendigobank.com.au or search Bendigo Bank near me.
Tobin Brothers Funerals wear their heart on their sleeve. Their clear and easy-to-use website and Memory Maker app make it easy for families to make an informed decision. Here's James McLeod, Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals.
We pride ourselves on being the most transparent funeral company. All pricing on goods and services are available on our website. It's all there for you to see and make very informed decisions when planning a loved one's funeral.
Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
At Yarra Valley Water, we know reducing your shower time, or show time, to 4 minutes can save you an average of $200 a year on water and energy bills. Shower shorter. Save water. Authorised by the Victorian Government, 1 Treasury Place, Melbourne.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. You'll generally experience shorter wait times. Knox Private 24/7 Emergency, 262 Mountain Highway, Wanturna.
You are listening to Radio Eastern FM 98.1.
With live and exclusive coverage of the EFNL football season. Bringing you the match of the day with score updates from all divisions.
And now we cross to our commentary team for the Radio Eastern 98.1 Match of the Day coverage.
Welcome back to the Eastland Match of the Round. It is NAIDOC round and Norwood have just put on an absolute terrific performance. 12-16-88 defeated South Croydon 4-9-33. I'm Ryan Long, and we're joined here by Brett Best and Jared Beanland, Wayne Brasher, Scott Hardy and Paul Uconi as we go through the votes. I don't know who wants to start here, Brett, or Brash has put his hand up. Brasher, you got for your 3-2-1?
3 votes. Clearly the best player on the ground this afternoon, the big ruckman Michael Wynn. 2 votes I've given to Dylan Feltham. I thought he controlled the back line, actually was suffering from leather poisoning for most of the afternoon. No one wanted to go near him. And I'm going to give young Michael Grecian my 1 vote. I liked his intensity and aggression around the contest, and I think he upset and ruffled a few feathers in that South Croydon back line, and he made them look over his shoulder. So I'm going to give him my 1 vote.
Yeah, I'll agree with you in terms of my 3 votes. Wen, fantastic, dominated. I've got the man from Far North Queensland, Michael Gretchen. I've got him for 2, and I agree. Dylan Feltham was excellent across the half-back line. He was, he had the ball on the string definitely during that second quarter specifically.
And I've gone there saying 3 for Wen, but I've gone 2 for Jaffa Williams, 1 for Feltham.
Yep.
All right, and I've gone 3 for Wen, 2 for Feltham of the Dylan variety, and I actually gave Harley Bennell a vote. I thought he was pretty good.
Oh, there you go. You called him Harley this time.
Oh, sorry, Jamie Bennell. I knew I was going to do that. I got to the end.
You had 10 minutes to go.
It's his brother.
I knew I was going to do that. Jamie Bennell, I gave him a couple, but as you say, Gresham was very good as well, so I was just being different. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear that Michael Wynn is going to win the best on ground today.
The Sportsco Eastland Best on Ground Award, so congratulations. And he will receive that now from the boys who are going down to the rooms. And our goal of the day, the Tobin Brothers goal of the day, I think there was one earlier on that was a pretty unanimous decision. Scott, have you got that in front of you?
Yeah, that was Michael Gresham with that snap around the body in the second quarter. You can look it up at about the 11-minute 30-second mark, I think, around there. So yeah, brilliant goal by that man.
Absolutely. We will try and get through to final results around the grounds. I'll throw it back to you first while I'll chase up a couple of results looking for confirmation. But it's a big win for Norwood, Brett and Jared. A fantastic win for them. Bit of questions on South Croydon on where they're sitting at the moment, because with Berwick's win, they jump them and they're now in 10th position. So they're not guaranteed that they will play Premier Division next year. They're a good enough side to do so, but with the injuries they've got, I thought Max King, not having him here and watching that live, you could just tell how much of a difference that makes, especially in the middle of the ground.
No question about it. He was the missing link today. I mean, Michael Wen, he just had a field day. I mean, he was virtually unchallenged in the ruck all day. He did what he pleased. And Max King, I mean, we've been watching him since that wonderful grand final back in 2017, and he's probably been playing a bit before that as well. But he's an outstanding player, and they missed him dearly today.
I also think they missed the grunt of Shink, and also
Tommy Shink was also another one that
Daniel
Cooper,
as well.
He was the other one.
They really are struggling at the moment. They need those bigger bodies moving through that forward 50 to give them some run, and they just don't have it at the moment.
The thing is, though, Brash, like, they've had King out for how many weeks now? Like,
he's been out for a while.
Like five, maybe more. I'm not too sure, but
is he a chance to come back in the near future?
But what I'm saying is, it's not like this is like the first time they've had to work out how.
No, that's true. Good
it.
point. Yeah,
like,
fair point.
You know, they've had time. They need to work out. They don't have him. That's
it.
it.
Well, the one man that they are missing today as well is Tommy Hofert. He's been carrying the ruck stocks for them throughout the year. So once again, that just another thing that put them on the back foot today specifically was the lack of him. But I completely agree. You know, Tom Hofert, he's not Max King. So they should have needed to figure out by now how to play with a ruckman down.
And if they don't have that ruckman, what can they do around the centre to alleviate that missing link? Because Norwood, as much as they won the ruck contest, I didn't feel like the clearances were huge. But what were the clearances there, Paul?
Yeah, so the clearances were 39 to 23 in favour of Vermont and
of Norwood.
You got Vermont
on
your
on the brain.
I'm happy that you have.
It was great domination by Norwood, and it's great to get the clearances in, because Dylan is quite a big fan of me telling out the clearances. So
no, it's key. It's a key sort of stat, and especially in that situation where the ruck was dominating, it could have been a lot more for Norwood. But I think South Croydon just need to find a way around it.
Yeah. So what do we take from this win today? I mean, you've got to put it into perspective that South Croydon were missing some players, and they didn't really play anywhere near their best. I mean, is it just are we back with Norwood, or do we think maybe there's a bit to go before we start rating them again?
Can't trust Norwood.
Just too far out of the top six at the moment, and even Blackburn have probably played some better footy than Norwood at patches.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're
the only thing that's helped Norwood is they've moved one game closer to Blackburn, who are now probably 3 games or 2 games now out of 6 spots.
But that's only fighting for 7th. That's not actually fighting for a top 6
but
position.
We're going to find out next week, because it's Norwood versus Blackburn. So
wow, what a massive game that becomes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Listen to those tunes, Besto.
I tell you, it's just getting louder and louder.
Come back, Besto. We're still going to finish the show. Don't go party just yet.
It was a terrific win by Norwood today, and Marty Pass can be very happy. But as you say, there's a bit to do. But they've got to. They'll be very, very happy. Ultimately, South Croydon not quite so. Ryan, any more scores?
Yeah, I'll go through them all again. So if you've just joined us at the moment. We'll start with Premier Division. Baldwin defeated East Ringwood 101 to 45. Here, obviously, at Cheon Park, Norwood defeated South Croydon 88 to 33. Berwick defeated Park Orchards for their 4th win of the season, 58 to 45. Noble Park 56 defeated Blackburn 2-9-21. Disappointing result there for Blackburn to only have the 2 goals kicked.
Low scoring too. Maybe it might have been a bit breezy out there.
Yeah, not quite sure on that one. And Roval defeated Doncaster very comfortably. Vermont defeated Doncaster East by over 6 goals. So that's a big win for the Eagles. I'd like to see where their position is on the ladder. Can't quite get that all updated as of yet. Montrose defeated Lilydale. Bayswater did defeat Mooroolbark 11-12-78 to 11-11-77. I'm pretty sure that is a final result from what I've been told. South Belgrave defeated Beaconsfield 70 to 28. Croydon defeated Wantirna South 48 to 40. Still waiting on this Mitcham North Ringwood score. It says 5-2-32 to 5-4-34, and that was a long time ago. So unless both sides haven't scored in over an hour of football, I don't think that's right. Jumping into Division 2, Heathmont defeated Knox 93 to 70. Ringwood defeated Upper Ferntree Gully Templestowe defeated the Basin 87 to the Bears 46. Baronia by 10 goals in Jess Bolton's 200th game, 90 to 30. Waverley Blues and Mulgrave had the bye. Jumping into Division 3, Coldstream defeated Fair Park, so a big win for the Cougars. They'll be off the ladder, off the bottom of the ladder, because Oakley District have defeated Whitehorse 10-8, 68, 7-12, 54. Final result at Warrandyte Reserve, Warrandyte 11-8, 74. Ferntree Gully 10-12, 72. That's a big win for the Bloods. Is their season still alive? I don't know. We'll have to have a look at the ladder again. Donvale defeated Sylvan 108 to 23. The big result in Division 4 was the Churnside Park win, 11-9, 75 to 4-5, 29. That's huge for Churnside. Looking just about now in the front position to take that 4th position on the ladder at the end of the season. Scoresby defeated Nuttawading 98 to 23, and Surrey Park defeated Croydon North MLOC 121 to 19. So that's our wrap up of the senior men's competition.
We've actually got another game just in front of us now. Who's playing out here, boys? Under 19s, yeah.
South Croydon are taking on
Surrey Park, yeah.
Very low scoring affair here. Surrey 1-1-7. South Croydon 1 behind.
Anyone keen to start and do this one?
Josh Wood will be if he's around the area with Surrey Park playing. Just trying to find that last couple of scores there with the Mitcham North Ringwood game. I'm sure Blake might be able to, Division 1 is his expertise, so he might be able to help me out there as we approach the last couple of minutes. But looking at that Division 1 ladder, that's what really interests me on where the sides will sit at the moment. Bayswater could even be in the top 5 now. I have to have the look at the ladder after all this. I don't know, Scotty's got it in front, so if you can do the maths.
Yeah, Bayswater got the win, so they go to 24 points, equal with North Ringwood.
And Scotty's got his abacus out, he's working it all out.
We need a Tommy Shink here.
Yeah.
He's the maths professor.
Yes, true. You get him on speed dial. But
Bayswater's percentage is pretty good.
It is. It's 110% before this round. So, yeah, I think they will jump. They'll definitely jump North Ringwood. They'll jump Wanturna, and that will put them in 5th.
Wow, that's a big result. So a lot to talk about tomorrow afternoon.
Actually, they might even jump into 4th. Did Beaconsfield?
They lost Beaconsfield.
Yep. So they're on 107%. So they might have just jumped to 4th.
Bayswater's in 4th.
Big week. That's a big weekend of Division 1 football to unpack tomorrow morning in the Sunday Recovery podcast at AFNL House. We're coming to a close here, so we'll say our goodbyes. Thank you, Brett and Jared, for calling today. Fantastic job. Bit of a one-sided performance, but kept it interesting.
Nonetheless, yeah, it was a good win today from Norwood, and very pleased for them. And as we said before, it'll be interesting to see where they go from here.
Wayne Brasher, as usual, in the special comments chair.
Thank you, Ryan, and enjoyed the whole day immensely. It was a great day.
And hosting the pre-game as well for NAIDOC Week, a fantastic job. And welcome back to Scott Hardy, back in the action this afternoon. It's good to have you here.
Yeah, great to be back, and great calling alongside you guys. I've missed it immensely.
Absolutely. And Paul Uconi, women's game, we had a good one there.
Thank you.
With Wanturna South Nuttawading.
Yep, it was a great day. Now I'm off to the rave. So
I'm not.
Yeah, Brett certainly isn't, and our boys on the boundary, Blake Tennant and Dylan Smith, done a fantastic job. Lee Green, Megan Green also did the women's game in the camera. She's had a long day. A fantastic job there, and I'm Ryan Long, and that's it for us here at the Eastland Match of the round. Is Norwood 12-16-88, running out 55-point winners over South Croydon 4-9-33.